Bam! We're live. Good morning, everyone. Philip Kelly, what's up, dude? First, yeah, look at you. Look at you with your little AI photo. Your big AI photo. Kenneth, what's up? What's up, dude? Good morning. Jake Chapman, what's up? What is up? Jake, what do you do when you listen to the show? What are you? You're 8 hours ahead. So it's 6:55 a.m. here. Add 8 hours. That'd be 3 p.m. 3 p.m. on the Isle of Man. I am not at home, as you can see. Good morning, Natalie. I am in Idaho. I have a entire second floor. At some point, I'll give you guys a tour. I'll put it on my Instagram and show you where I'm doing this podcast. It's crazy. Right out these doors here behind me is Coeur d'Alene. That's how you pronounce it, Coeur d'Alene. Beautiful lake. Doesn't look big. Has some very, very interesting qualities. Very cold in the winter. Warms up in the summer, I believe. But one of the fascinating qualities about the lake, someone was explaining to me the other day, is that I think it's something like, and I'm making these numbers up, but it's like Lake Tahoe in California. I think it's the deepest freshwater lake in the United States. It takes, I don't know, if Caleb's here, he can look it up to the specifics, but it's some weird stat like every 800 years, all the lake in the water is refreshed. So that's how long it takes. But this lake behind me, it's less than one season. Which I don't know what causes that, but I think that they raise it and lower it, and they open dams, and there's a river coming in and a river going out, and it's one of the great play lakes. Like basically, it's just suited perfectly for human beings in the summertime. So there's a lot of really wealthy people up here, out in the middle of nowhere, and it's really cool. It's clean, it's safe, it's pleasant, it's quiet. People are polite. It's everything that California is not. Hey, Caleb, what's up, dude? Before the show starts today, we're gonna have Dillon Loewen on today. Ariel Loewen's husband, cool cat. What's up, Tyler? How you doing, buddy? Anna, hi. Hey, good afternoon. Afternoon. It's afternoon. Oh, you're with Philip Kelly on the phone. You guys watch the show together. That's cute. That's really cool. Jeff, what's up? Deadlifting 365 by 5. Good on you. Sabir, Kelly, what's up? I hope you're enjoying the show. Episode 6 is a huge hit. I've sent it out to, I don't know, 24 people for early screening. Try to send it out to a bunch of the athletes who are featured in it, and they're absolutely loving it. Can you hear me, Caleb?
I can hear you good.
There you go. Awesome. Hey. Could you pull up Mark Bell's Instagram account? I want to read you guys something. I'm trying to piece together what happened to Mark Bell. I haven't dug too deep, but the last guest that Mark Bell had on, from what I hear, was Andrew Huberman, who you guys know. He does all the podcasts, right? He's the Stanford PhD who's always telling you hacks on things for life. I think maybe he's like a PhD neurobiologist or something like that. He was on with a guy who is an expert. It's going to be at the top where we're going to go. It's that Thomas. It's right. It's the 6th post with the writing on it. So the last podcast a couple days ago, supposedly, that Mark Bell had on, he had Andrew Huberman on and some guy who is a sun expert, like basically how humans interact to the sun. And he was talking about light and how we interact with it. And then right after that, after he posted that, supposedly he was pulled down. And as one of my friends described it, he said, "Hey, it's some 22-year-old girl who uses hearts instead of dots for the letter of eyes, and every third word out of her mouth is like," spotted that and pulled it down. But this is what Thomas DeLauer says in regards to Mark Bell's podcast getting pulled down. Under the new YouTube guidelines for health information, they have a category, sunlight, in the medical category. Let me read that one more time. Under the new YouTube guidelines for health information, they have categorized sunlight in the medical category. This means that only content from doctors and approved sources can have videos on sunlight. Houston, we have a problem. So what I'm piecing together here is that Mark Bell had a guest on, two qualified people, and they were discussing sun and human skin, and they were talking about it, and maybe talking about. I didn't see the podcast, but you know generally how those go. What's safe? What's not safe? What's healthy? Do we need vitamin D? Would that have cured this or that? And I'm guessing he did a podcast on that, and they pulled down his podcast. For those of you who don't know who Mark Bell is, he's been around forever. He was one of the first guys that I recall coming out openly and being like, "Hey, I'm juiced up," and he openly talking about steroid use, which was really cool. We always appreciate someone who's transparent. And then he was, I think, the first podcast that Greg Glassman did besides this podcast a couple months ago. And what's interesting is a bunch of people who are known, I don't want to say cowards in the community, but a bunch of people who are known to have played it safe and who would always be like, "Hey, you shouldn't put this on YouTube. You shouldn't put that on YouTube." They're now speaking up for Mark Bell, which I find fascinating. Oh, there's one. Yeah, this guy who was on the podcast before, Zach Tillander, he had given me advice and Hiller advice on how to play it safe on YouTube. And when I watch his podcast, I'm not his podcast. When I watch Zach's videos, anytime it's a subject outside of weightlifting, it becomes very abstract and obtuse. And I would say he plays it very, 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 very safe. And some people are like, "Hey, Sevi, why do you have to talk about snatching and in the vaccine? Why can't you leave politics out of it?" And I don't think it's politics. I don't think it's politics. I don't think forcing your kids to take drugs is politics. I was somewhere yesterday. I was at a gym's anniversary yesterday, and a dad walks in with his newborn holding it in his hands, and everyone gathers around the baby, and the first thing he says is, "The baby's running a little hot this morning. He just had his vaccines." You would never let someone off the street inject you with drugs, especially if you didn't know what they were or you didn't need them. And yet, for some reason, we've built this trust with a group of people who inject our kids with drugs, and we don't even know what's in them. You know what's interesting too is as I drove up from California to Coeur d'Alene, it took me 3 days, and I stopped at a bunch of places called Loves. There are these gas stations. I assume they have them all over the country. There are these huge gas stations, and I go in, and I get a cup of coffee, and I let my kids go over to that. They have every single Loves has like this box, and there's all these little tiny knives in it, and nail clippers and keychains. And every time we go in there, I let my kids pick one out, right? So by the time we got here, they each had 4 pocket knives, different ones, like ones with guns that pop out. They had laser pointers. They got all the shit. I probably spent $300 on shit out of that box. And every single person in the Loves had a better bedside manner than the doctors at Kaiser. The doctors at Kaiser don't say hi to you. They don't ask you your name. They don't ask you how you're doing. There's no pleasantries. But at Loves, it's like, "Hi, how are you doing? Did you get everything you need today? Oh, excuse me. Oh, did you know that we have a new creamer over there?" How is it that they're nicer at Starbucks than they are at the hospital? It's the whole thing is bizarre. Yesterday, I wanted to do a show over on Twitter. I wanted to go over and start doing a show on Twitter and start training all of us to go over there. Dillon, what's up, dude? Hey. Oh, he's frozen already. That's cool. Did you get a haircut for the show, Dillon? Did you get a haircut for the show?
Nah, man, I just took off my hat.
Oh, all right, all right.
Hey, the funny thing is, I was sitting in the StreamYard for like 10 minutes and I didn't know I had to join.
Oh,
So
that's good. Yeah.
I was sitting here patiently waiting for y'all. And then I was like, man, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So I'm scrolling down and I see that I'm actually having to join. So apologize for being late.
The truth is something like this. If you know how to use StreamYard, you're less of a man that doesn't know how to use StreamYard. Somewhere the truth is like that. I've taken this very able soldier from the United States military and made him a StreamYard expert, Caleb Beaver, and now his testosterone's lowered by probably 20 points. Poor guy.
Easily.
He's
I'll
tech
just file
savvy
it
now.
Yeah, I'll file it under disability. It's okay.
Yeah,
Dude,
I'm really
what's up?
bad. Not much. How are y'all doing?
Living the dream, dude. Living
Yeah,
the
you're
dream.
over at Greg's?
Yeah, I'm at Greg's house in Coeur d'Alene. It's early in the morning here. Everyone's still asleep. We stayed up super late last night and watched the UFC fights. It's cool. I'm surrounded by friends, and I'm getting to watch all the kids play. I love
Yeah.
watching the kids play. There's so many kids here, and they're just running around playing. It's dope. It reminds me, you kind of live vicariously through them. It reminds you of when you were playing with your own cousins.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, speaking of cousins, we all got together every Sundays at grandma's, and I grew up with, my dad's like a child of 9, and my mom's like a child of 7 or 8. So, this is something you probably don't know about me, but my family are migrants from Mexico. You know how they have a lot of kids so they can put them to work on the farms. That's how my family was too. So I have tons of cousins and all that good stuff. And we get together at grandma's on Sundays after church and have, barbecue and get to play with cousins. So I'm like really close to all my family, my cousins. We still hang out to this day, and we're all, 30 plus years old. So it's pretty sweet having that family bond. Super awesome.
You have like 16 uncles and aunts.
Yeah, I have a ton of them. Yep, and they're all still alive, still healthy, strong. When you work hard every day, builds a strong heart.
You're Mexican?
No, I'm Mennonite. Do you know what that is?
Amish? Is that like Amish? I don't know. Alien? You're like alien? That's like like you came from outer space. What is that?
Outer space, out of this country. So yeah, I'm first generation American.
What's Mennonite? I thought you said your parents were. So when you said your parents were migrants, they weren't from Mexico migrants.
They were. So there were a small community in Mexico that were just Mennonites. So they kind of lived outside of the Mexican people, but they had a community of their own. I think now that community has grown to like 80,000 people in a city called Cuauhtemoc, Chihuahua. And that's where both of my parents were born and raised. And then my dad came to the United States when he was like 25, and my mom when she was like 15. My parents are 10 years apart. What is that called? A cradle robber, something like that?
Yeah, that was the affectionate term. Now it's called Epstein Island, but back in the day it was called cradle robbing. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, he got her young and brought her to the United States and been here ever since. But we've traveled a lot back and forth. Well, especially when my parents were still together to see, family, cousins and stuff like that. So I have a lot of connections to, Mexico.
Coffee Pods and Wads. Dillon is easily in the top 10 of people I've met since I started the podcast. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
so how did the Mennonites end up in Mexico? They're Germans. Someone in the comments wrote they're Germans. Mennonites are Germans.
Yeah, something along those lines. I have never really dove deep into my ancestry, which is, kind of lame on my part. But from my understanding is it was in a region like south. Everybody's telling me it's a region south of Russia, somewhere between Russia and Germany. And they migrated from there about 100 years ago. So I know my dad's great grandparents migrated from that area to Mexico. And then my dad's grandparents and his parents and him lived in Mexico. And then from there, they've just kind of scattered. Some live in Canada, some live with the Amish, like in Pennsylvania area. And then here in West Texas, we actually have quite a big group of Mennonites as well. So
is it a cult? Is it a cult? Is it like?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of like a cult. It's more, how the Amish, it's very similar to the Amish as far as they grew up in their own little community and they have more of, like religion as far as man-made religion where women wear coverings, head coverings, they wear dresses that really cover them from head to toe, not, shaving, using deodorant, which you would probably enjoy.
Maybe I need a Mennonite chick. I like all that so far. I like all that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was funny
How
growing
about
up.
electricity and stuff? Can they use electricity and stuff like that? Because the Amish can't use stuff like that, right? Like gas powered shit and electricity.
I would say the biggest difference between the Mennonites and the Amish was they're more tech savvy. So my dad didn't grow up with nice. Yeah, that's my kind of women right there, bro.
Yeah, I like it. I
Yeah,
like it. Yeah,
that's a good
yeah,
that's a good looking woman, dude.
yeah. Baby
Um,
makers. Those look like baby makers to me.
hard workers too. You know what's
Yeah.
funny is growing up, my dad always told us that we had to marry a Mennonite. And this is what you would see on a typical Mennonite, and you see these American women. I'm like, dude, I do not want to marry a Mennonite.
Hey, did you watch did you watch the UFC fights last night?
No, but I looked it up this morning. I saw Stricken loss,
There
sadly.
was this woman from Brazil who fought a Bueno Silva, and her body was absolutely insane. And I was just wondering if you like that kind of body. Her body was nuts. I mean, she was so woman. You know what I mean? She was like, I did not like her fighting. I did not
Yeah.
like her. I did not like that thing getting punched. Man, that thing was crazy. I wonder what other people think. Did you guys think she was incredible? But she always has this look on her face like she's crying no matter what. She kind of looks like she got Lou Ferrigno's face. You know who that is? The Incredible Hulk from the 70s?
Yes, I do know who that is.
Yeah, she got Lou
Okay.
Ferrigno's face on the most insane voluptuous long-legged body ever. It was she was a trip. Oh, you got to yeah, I don't know if oh no, that's not her. She's kind of hard to find on the gram. Chalk one up for Caleb. That's rare. January
Okay.
21st, 2024, 7/12, a fail by Caleb.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know if you're saying long leg, they're nice, but I like Ariel's legs.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Fuck, who doesn't? Yeah. Long, short, there. Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah, so that was like one.
When your dad said you had to marry a Mennonite, was he like serious or was it like kind of like tongue in cheek joking?
No, it was 100% serious. So I grew up really strict.
Hold on, you broke up. Hold on, this is gonna be good. Hold on. Look at David Weed. That's not fair. You're inside my head. That is so not fair.
Am I
When I
back?
said she has a great body, David Weed says, in other words, she had huge knockers. Come on. Don't share that. That's like secrets that you have inside my head that no one else has. Come on.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Okay, so your dad was
Okay.
crazy strict.
Yeah, he was really strict. Honestly, I'd almost say borderline racist. Yeah, like he didn't want us playing. I kind of grew up not in the ghetto, but I didn't grow up in a really good place of town, and he didn't really want me playing with like black kids and stuff like that. My first crush was a black girl, so he was kind of down on that. But yeah, he really wanted us to marry a Mennonite woman. But my parents separated when we were like 12 years old, and that kind of just all went out the door.
What about
And
Mexican kids? Were you allowed to play with Mexican kids?
yeah, we were because that's what he was accustomed to being around was Mexican kids. So my dad actually at heart, dude, he's really a Mexican guy. He wears a taco hat, and skinned
Racist.
off yeah, skinned ostrich cowboy boots. That's his
Yeah.
daily attire and all that good stuff. And
What's
so
he drive? Does he have horns on the front of his truck?
nah, but he drives, big truck. Here in West Texas, everybody drives big
You
trucks.
got an El Camino? Is that an El Camino in the garage or?
I think when he was younger, he actually had something similar to an El Camino. Yeah, but yeah, he grew up horse and buggy before he moved to the United States.
You know what's interesting? I like there's a few things I like about I don't know what I hate to call it black culture. Let's call it hillbilly culture because Thomas Sowell says that the blacks took it from hillbillies. And I really like Mexican culture, but the one thing I don't like about Mexicans is they have too many tweeters in their car. Like all their music's on the high range. And I like black music with bass. I like bass.
I
So
like
you know what I
bass.
mean? So Mexican drives by and it's like it's just like so high, and you guys got like 10 tweeters in there, and it's like Jesus Christ. How about take out some of those tweeters and put in some woofers?
Heck
You
yeah.
know what I'm talking about? That music, that music.
Yeah, bro. I live in the same area as you. The majority of the people where we live are Hispanic. So, and I grew up very Hispanic as far as my dad just listens to Hispanic music. He doesn't listen to American music. Everything is in Spanish. Like I said, honestly, my
My
dad at
dad's
heart,
racist. He only listens to. He sounds like he hates white people too. So let's be fair. He don't want you playing with the black kids or the white kids. Were you allowed to play with non-Mennonites?
yeah, well, where we live in Midland, there are no Mennonites. The closest Mennonite community is about an hour away, which is where my dad originally moved to when he came from Mexico. And then as he got older and developed in business and stuff like that, we moved to Midland because there's more work, which where we live is the oil capital of the United States. So it's always busting out here with construction. That's what most Mennonites do is either farming or construction. And so my dad went the construction route, and there's always been work out here in Midland.
Is that how you got your construction chops?
Yeah, 100%. You know, Mennonites, they're known to be hard workers. So I didn't have a typical upbringing. I went with my dad to work every day. Summer times, I went to work with my dad. I didn't have really a childhood where I went out and played on the summers like most kids did. Uh, I even got truancy issues in school because my dad would pull me out of school to go to work with him. And I was
I
12.
like it.
Yeah, I was 12 years old, and my dad would drop me off at a job site. And what our main deal was seamless rain gutters. Are you familiar with that?
No, but I can kind of imagine.
Yeah, okay. So, you know, I mean, rain gutters that catch the water off of your fascia board instead of having, you know, pieces stripped together that you'd get at Home Depot or something.
Right.
This is a machine that runs it out in one seamless piece. So, yeah, I was 12 years old around that time, and my dad would just drop me off at a job site, bring me lunch, and then come pick me up at the end of the day. And that was my childhood.
What's the biggest job you ever did for seamless gutters?
You know, like a mansion, what you'd probably consider a mansion. But I've done.
And how much does that cost? How much does that cost to get like a big huge 15,000 square foot home with seamless gutters? 3 stories.
Yeah, it starts going up in money when there's chances of falling off of a ladder that high. But I would say, you know, like a big house like that, maybe $15,000-$20,000.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, not terrible. So it runs by linear foot. I'm not too familiar now what it is a linear foot, but I think my dad charges around $10 a linear foot for
and that's for it being custom made and installation.
Yeah, you pick your color, all that good stuff.
Have you ever fallen off a roof?
No, but I've fallen off of a ladder 3 times.
Has your dad fallen off a roof?
He has. I think before I was born, he was doing. Do you know what steel siding is?
No, I can like corrugated stuff that like you see on a lot of CrossFit gyms in the Midwest and shit.
Something like
I bet you JR's gym is made of corrugated steel.
Yeah, so it's, you know, facade that goes on the outside of a house made of steel.
Oh, okay. Yep.
He did a lot of that growing up, and he was doing it on a church on a top steeple, and he fell off of that, which he had the ladder. His extension ladder wasn't tall enough, and so he said he had to put it on the back of his truck to reach the tip, and it slipped, and he fell 30 feet, and he broke his arm. And I believe that was before I was born, which that's scary to think about, falling that far off of a ladder.
I feel like that job, all the jobs where you work on the roof, and someone either hitting their head. Oh, my dad fell off the roof, broke his back, and hit his head, and he's never been the same. I feel like I mean, you've probably heard a shitload of stories of people falling off roofs, right?
Yeah, 100%.
You ever been at the job site when someone falls off the roof?
No, I have not. No, sir.
Mennonites probably do it different. You guys, the Germans do it different. You guys are probably more precise.
We are. We take very big pride in our work. I think that's one of the things I pride myself most on is if I do something, I want to do it right.
Oh yeah, look at Jody Lynn, Mr. Medeiros did that. That's right. Okay, so Justin's dad fell off a roof. I think I remember hearing that and broke his back. Wow.
Nice. I have something in common with the great Justin Medeiros.
So you never lived in Mexico, or you did and then you moved up here?
No, I never did, but we came like this close to living out there. My dad actually has a ranch that he bought when we were younger, and his dream was to be a farmer out there and move us back there. It just financially never happened, and also, like I said, my parents divorced when I was like 12 years old, so that just kind of went, their separate ways. But my dad still has that ranch. Growing up, me and my dad would go out there a lot, and that was like a developing Mennonite community. So at that time, there was very few Mennonites out there, and they were all farming. And we would just sit out there and camp. And he had bought a ditch witcher and would dig trenches for the local farmers to get irrigation to their crops and stuff like that. So I did a lot of that growing up with my dad as well. I would say me and my dad, we're best friends, today. And I think that's just because the majority of my childhood was spent around my dad. I don't know if I spent more time with anybody else than I did with my dad.
Hey, that's crazy cool. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say that.
Yeah, 100%. And it's so crazy because I've seen, my dad's made a lot of mistakes in his life, especially with our family. We didn't have a really strong family. I never really saw love between my parents and stuff like that. And my dad was a habitual cheater. I think that's the correct word. And so I just saw a lot of that brokenness in my family. And especially when my parents divorced, I like hated my dad for a small season. And it's just it's so crazy because that hate didn't last long. It lasted like a summer because it was the only summer I didn't work for my dad. It was the first summer that I felt more like a child because I went and did play. I bought a BMX bike, got into riding at the skate park and stuff like that. And I'm just thankful I was able to forgive my dad and cultivate that friendship again. And, we're still today probably closer now than we were before. And it kind of sucks because I feel bad for my mom. She's the one that took us in and raised. I have an older sister and a younger brother, raised us, took care of us. My dad did pay child support, but my mom was the one there for us for the most part. And I have a closer bond to my dad than I do to my mom, even though my dad did my mom wrong. And I think about that a lot because I think it's messed up of me to have that. But I just think it's something, the time me and my dad spent together is, I don't know, it shaped me to the person I am. And it made me the hard worker. I pride myself in that I'm willing to work hard no matter what. And I think that's the greatest gift that my dad gave me. So I don't know.
I'm guessing your dad was very personable. This is what I get from your dad. Here's the thing. When I hear men cheating, I just think of them as running fucked up harems. The difference between cheating and a harem is a harem, like everyone knows what's going on. Cheating is some of the girls don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But the only difference, and so, but what I hear you describing your dad is generous with his time.
Yeah.
He had a high level of awareness, and he saw when people needed help. And he wasn't like these fucking pussies who are virtue signalers now who just put up a fucking Black Lives Matter poster or whatever, or they hand someone $1 who's a drug addict at the freeway. Your dad was actually helping people water their crops. I see your dad, and he offers a very important service. Rain gutters are fucking crazy important, and he's in the service industry, so he services people. I'm guessing he's great with his customers. Is that true? Because you're great with people.
Yeah, since I've always been with
that's
my
what
dad,
I hear. And your dad's just normal. He just likes pussy. Listen, your dad just listen. Part of being a man is when you're about 22 or 23, you go, holy shit. You either say two things. How did my dad never fucking cheat on my mom? Or I give my dad a pass if he cheated a couple times. I think that's part of manhood. Now I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, it's really easy to be idealistic when you're fucking 16.
Honestly, I agree with you 100% on that because when I was younger, I was like, man, how could, my dad cheat on my mom and do that? But as I've grown into adult, I think I've gone to more understanding the temptations that the world have. And I would just say, those temptations are out there for everybody. But the difference, I guess, between my dad and me is my dad caved into those temptations. And and especially since I've learned a lot from my dad, that's one thing I never want for my family is to go through that struggle because I understood the hurt that it caused the family
Yeah.
unit and broke that apart. So I'm thankful for that lesson. And, but I do realize the temptations that the world has to offer and why my dad wasn't strong enough to resist those things. And I do think, there's some people in the world that are meant to be married, and there's some people in the world that are meant to just be dogs. And my dad's a dog.
Well, also, I do want to say the flip side of that is it, a lot of people in my younger years, I would think that, okay, we're not made for monogamy. But now that I have kids and I am in a monogamous relationship, there's nothing more powerful. And the worst thing about being in a relationship where there's cheating is that you have to keep a secret from someone, and so there's a distance between you and them. Ideally, you always want to shit with the door open, metaphorically speaking. You know what I mean? You don't want there to be any secrets, and you don't want to be guarding anything. You want to be just free around. And so I met a couple yesterday. They'd been married for 19 years and they were young. This is a fucking young couple. They were the owners of this gym I went to, and we were talking, and it's like, yeah, when you're in a long-term relationship, it becomes the crowning achievement of your life.
Yeah, definitely. I think me and Ariel's relationship is the most sacred thing to me, and it's special.
Sacred. Yeah.
100%. It's something I pride myself in. Me and Ariel, we've been together since high school. She's the only girl I've ever been with.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit. Wow.
100%. So it's something that's super. I hit that picture of me. I feel like I'm balding in that picture.
Are you kidding me? You look like a stud there.
Yeah,
you look like you play in the NFL. Look at you, dude.
Those muscles are all fake, bro. That's all fake.
You are a brick shithouse. Look at you. You're a fucking hunk.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You're handsome too. I really love your new haircut.
Thank you. I'm digging. I'm really enjoying it too. Thank you.
Honestly, I hope you never go back to the long hair because after I saw this, man bun, yeah, if that's what you want to call it. I just hope when I get to your
You think
age,
I look like one of those old guys with the straggly hair who's trying to stay young? Like, I hate that look. Oh, man, what was that, Caleb? I saw your eyebrows go up when I said that. What was that?
Nothing.
You think that I had that look going? Like I was like because that look I'm talking about? Like the old guy is like, dude, cut your fucking hair.
It wasn't that bad yet. It was verging on it.
You were getting there, but I think honestly you hit the nail on the head when Bear from Born Primitive.
Yeah.
I like his vibe.
Yeah.
For his age. Maybe if he was 20 years older, it'd get on the verge that it needs to be cut. But y'all were kind of there on the same vibe, but you're just a little older.
Yeah. All right. All right. When that hair gets long and the beard got long too, it became a security issue. Everywhere I went, I get Taliban comments, and it's just like I just don't want to be caught up in secondary anymore. Yeah. Bear's rocking the shit out of it. Is that Bear's mom?
Man, I think that's his. I
Yep,
don't know.
that's mom.
God,
really?
He comes from good stock. God.
I could have called that his wife, to be honest with you.
Yeah, totally. Take off my glasses, and that's his wife. Crazy.
Blessed. And his dad, on the other hand, he's looking his age.
That's his, because he got a trophy wife. Bear's mom's a trophy wife.
Heck, I know all about that, bro. I'm a trophy husband now.
Is Ariel older than you?
I'm 1 month older. The only reason I say that is because she's now making those big bucks.
Yeah.
As Taylor Self would say, tens of dollars.
Yeah, I love it. Can you tell me how you met?
Yeah, dude, we met in high school.
Oh, wait. Before I ask that, do you think that the reason why? Do you think that because your dad kept you busy, that's why you weren't having sex at a young age? You think that you were just kept busy? And did you ever get into drugs or anything? Did he keep you busy and you didn't get into smoking early, or drinking, or sex, or things like that? I don't mean to lump sex up with drinking and smoking. I apologize. I don't think there's anything wrong with sex, but do you think that him keeping you busy and things like that kind of kept you on a more straight and narrow?
Kind of and kind of not. I think it just the basic thing instilled something in me. I would say values, goals that I had for myself in the future that I wanted to achieve, but it didn't keep me away from drugs. I was a big pothead from the age of 15 to honestly 25 when me and Ariel were going to have our child and get married and move in together. Then I decided that I need to make some life changes. So when my parents got divorced, my dad moved out at 12 and I lived with my mom, but my mom got remarried when she was 16 years old and she left the house and
Wait, your mom?
moved
Wait. Your mom got remarried at 16?
when I was 16. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
when you were 16. Okay.
Yeah. So when I was 16, she got remarried and moved out of the house to a town about an hour, 35 minutes to an hour away. And it left me at home that we had here in Midland with my 18-year-old sister. So from, junior and senior year, I basically lived by myself with an 18-year-old sister.
Mm.
And that's where things could have gone really wrong for me.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. I did get in some trouble. I've been to jail twice in that time. But yeah, I was just, huge pothead. I think the reason I saved myself for the biggest reason is because I was scared of STDs.
Oh yeah, me too.
Honest.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me
too.
So,
oh wow, me too. Yeah. Why didn't you just use a condom? I had fucking so many girlfriends, but I always used a condom. Always. You know what a condom is?
Don't use that.
Understood. Okay. All right. Fine. Whatever. Fine. Okay.
I don't know when you were in high school if they would bring people over to the school to talk about sexual education, and then they'd give you this big old spiel on STDs, and then they'd always end it with, "There's somebody in this class right now that has HIV, and they came and talked to us."
Yeah. They scared us all like this. Yeah.
And reflecting back on it now, I'm like, man, nobody had HIV. They were just trying to scare us.
Right.
It worked.
Right.
So, yeah.
I lived in the Bay Area, and supposedly everyone was dying of AIDS. I didn't know one person who ever got AIDS or died of AIDS. And I was born in 72. I grew up through that whole thing. Only person I ever knew who had it was Eazy-E and Magic Johnson. I didn't even really know them.
Magic Johnson's still kicking, bro.
I know. Eazy-E didn't end up so good.
Sad. R.I.P.
Yeah. Okay. So you did dodge some bullets. My life was kind of like that too. I got kicked out when I was 16, and I lived in my own apartment from 16 to 18, and it was wild. It was crazy wild. I was just a drunk basically. I just started drinking like a maniac. I didn't smoke weed, or I wasn't having sex at 16, but I was just drinking every single day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Did you drink a lot?
No, I really didn't drink much. So that's another lesson I learned from my dad is an alcoholic.
And no shit. Mennonite alcoholic. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's one thing that the Mennonites know how to do is drink some beers. And so that was another tension point.
Was he a chill alcoholic or was he a violent alcoholic? I always, all my life's been full of just all cool alcoholics. Like,
oh no,
no one's beaten no one, fortunately.
My dad's never raised a hand to anybody. He is a very calm, collective person. I can't think of too many times in my life that he's ever even yelled at me. I would just say where the alcoholism really took effect was after my parents split up. He went into, I would say, periods of depression to where it
Did she leave him? Did she leave him?
She did. So there were some like points between when I was really young to 12 that they would kind of separate. I only remember two instances where we moved into a shelter and another time where we moved into an apartment before
Dude,
my
that's some
parents
ghetto ass shit. You moved into a shelter?
Yeah, a shelter for, women or something. Because my mom, she couldn't speak English. She had no...
Wait, your mom didn't speak English?
Not when we were really young, no, sir. So, like, both of my parents...
She only spoke German? She only spoke German?
German, yeah. So I speak it's not the same kind of German that you would get from Germany, but we speak a dialect of German. So I do speak another language, which when me and my family communicate, parents-wise, we're speaking German.
Wow, that's crazy. So, is your mom a mail order bride for your dad? Did he get her from Germany?
No, they both grew up in the same town in Mexico in the community together.
So she spoke Spanish and this Mennonite language.
She didn't speak Spanish, so the Mennonites really try to keep themselves out of the Mexican community, except for the men. My dad speaks fluent Spanish. My mom, since she was only 15 years old when my dad brought her to the United States, she never really got to learn much Spanish. She understands some of it, but she doesn't speak it fluently like my dad does.
So literally, your dad was with her from when when he was 25 and she was 15.
Correct. So he was already in the United States.
How old was your mom when you were born? Are you the oldest sibling?
No, I'm the second. I'm middle child. I have a 33-year-old sister, and then I'm 30, and then I have a 21-year-old brother.
And how old's your mom? I'm going to do the math here real quick.
My mom, I think she's 49.
Holy shit, dude. That means she had your sister when she was 16.
Yeah,
15?
Yeah, that's why my dad took my mom from Mexico's, because he knocked her up, and that's what a man does. I guess he took responsibility and brought her to the United States and took care of her.
He's lucky he didn't go to jail, dude. I wouldn't have brought her to the United States. I'd have run to like Guatemala. I'd have even gone deeper. He went the wrong way. Holy shit.
Yeah. So yeah, he brought her over here, and had my sister. And I guess 3 years later I came. And then my brother came 8 years after that. And I think that was their first planned kid to save a marriage that was doomed forever.
Learning to hunt. Sevan, are you in recovery? I hear you mention AA a lot. No. No recovery for me. Lots of people around me. Everyone. Everyone. Caleb, are you in? Did you ever go to AA, Caleb?
Definitely not.
So not Caleb, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of people around. How about you, Dillon? Have you gone to AA?
No, I don't need that kind of stuff.
I don't think I need it either. Dude, it's so dry where I'm at. It's so fucking dry. I just want to blow my nose nonstop. It's crazy. It's so fucking dry. I don't need to drink every day. I don't even need to drink at all. Like I could forget. Like I don't know if I could forget to drink for a month and then be like, oh shit, I'm falling behind. Hey, is your dad's brain damaged from alcohol? The people I know, like my dad drinks every single day, and something seems off with him.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because my dad speaks 3 different languages and he's not a professional.
Oh, my dad too. That could be it too. My dad speaks 3 different languages fluently too. So maybe that's it too.
I think so. So I think all those kind of in his head. When you talk to him, he gets a little mixed up, but for the most part, my dad is still really smart and sharp. And he's worked construction for, he's 60, I think he's 60 or 59, whatever, 10 years difference from, 59. And he's been in construction for the last 35 years, working hard every day. And he's a sharp guy. So
can you talk to him about whatever you want? Could you tell him that you wanted to vote for Trump, or would he disown you?
My dad's not into politics. My dad doesn't care about those things.
Could you tell him you're gay? You're gay and you're leaving Ariel. Could you tell him that?
No, that would.
No.
I don't know how that would go, but
I could tell my dad I'm gay. I could tell my dad, it's like, hey, dude, I love sucking dick so much. It's crazy. You don't even know. I just can't stop. I'm leaving the family, the kids, the wife, everyone. My dad be like, I love you. I could be like, I told him I was voting for Trump. He just, a couple of years ago, he just fucking walked out of the house. he was like fuming. Not like, hey, son, why is that? I don't know. I'm just not into pedophilia. Yeah, crazy, right?
No, my dad's, I think
I'm gonna transition one of my kids. I call my dad Heidi. Heidi, I'm thinking about cutting off the penises of 2 of my sons. Oh, we support you in that. Okay, do you need help financially? Oh, thanks, Dad. I'm voting for Trump. Fuck you. You're out of the will.
Yeah, no, I think my dad is really he does read the Bible, and he is a Christian. And so I think any values that align with the Bible, that's where he's gonna draw the line. So tattoos, he said if I ever got a tattoo, he'd cut it off with the sheetrock knife. Piercings, get a pair of pliers, rip it out. We've never even talked about being gay, but if that would come, I'm pretty sure there would definitely be something there. I don't know if he would still want to have a relationship with me, but I know it would be a hard point for sure.
Oh.
And same honesty goes for my mom.
What if he found out you were black?
You know, my dad softened a lot, so he's cool with black people, and customers, whatever, cool, will, you know, talk, have fun, laugh. I just think the thought of him having the thought of me being married to a black woman probably turned him off. And I think that's what he was trying to prevent when we were younger is something like that. But yeah, I mean, he was really cool with all people. He's chilled a lot since we were younger because he was really strict, like I said, when we were younger, and he's come a long way. I think he's grown a lot as a person in the last 10 years.
Does Ariel like your family?
Yeah. Ariel loves my family, and it's funny, she loves my dad too. Her and my dad have a great relationship, and one of the first things when me and Ariel were first dating, she told me she saw where I got my ass from because I got a donk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Does she like it? Does she like a donk?
That's the only reason we're together, baby.
Yeah, she's an ass girl.
Yeah, dude. That thing got me in so much trouble in high school and junior high school. Like I said, I grew up in the kind of bro. Those black girls were chasing me. I told you, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to junior high in a pretty bad part of town, and so I was one of the few white people there. It was either Mexicans or black people. And
that's the bad part of town. I understand.
Yep, that makes sense. And so we also had to wear uniforms. Yeah, you can kind of see that baby donk right there.
You're hiding it. You need some Barbell Cartel sweatpants. Those things will show that ass right off. But go on. Wow, look at you.
Yesterday, actually, Ariel taught me when we were dating in high school. She taught me a standing backflip. So at one point in my life, I could throw those on the ground, no problem. 40 pounds ago. But yeah,
I could do that. By the way, I can do that too on a trampoline.
Does it look that clean though? Look at that form.
Just saying.
Legs together and everything. That's nice.
Listen, Caleb, don't get all weird and shit. I'm just telling you I can do it. Don't.
I want to see it right now.
I'd probably fall back on my butt. I'd
snap my neck. I don't think my legs could do that.
I wanted to try it.
So tell me about this butt. So it got you in trouble. Girls were chasing you around, and is that Ariel noticed your butt? That's how she picked you.
Well, I think noticed me. I don't know. Our relationship is really funny from the start. So we met my sophomore year, summer, her junior year. I got held back one year. That goes into the truancy thing. My dad pulling me out of school all the time. I had to get held back a year because I was kind of falling behind in reading in first grade.
Was that embarrassing getting held back?
I think at a young age it wasn't, but as I got older, I was kind of ashamed of it because I was older than everybody. But I was also really one of the smartest kids in school, even though I was a pothead and all that, good stuff. I passed school with flying colors. I slept all day in class, aced the test, and that was that. Like I said, I'm really goal-oriented, so when I was in 7th grade, I knew when I wanted to get to my senior year of high school, I wanted to be able to get out of school early. So I took all the, what do you call those? The classes that...
The AP classes? The advanced classes?
I took all the advanced classes. I got all of my language classes done early so I could get the credits to when I got to my senior year. I had the credits I needed to graduate. And then I was in the workers program class. And so I was getting out of school my junior and senior year at 12 o'clock. And then I'd go work with my dad. So I hated school. So I wanted to get out of school early as possible. So I set myself already up.
Why did you hate school? I loved school. Didn't you like going there and seeing your friends and looking at girls and like throwing food and shit like that? Like food fights I
loved high school, but I hated everything before high school. High school high school was fun. It was hanging out with friends. It was, getting high. It was
Yeah.
partying. But also, I lived on my own and I had to provide for myself financially. So I had to
Wow.
work. I've
Right.
paid
Okay.
since I've been a young guy. I've paid for my own phone bill. I've paid for my own truck, gas, food. The only thing I didn't have to pay for when I was in high school is the bills at the house. My parents
Mm.
owned the house, and that was one thing my mom took care of was, the electric, gas, whatever those bills were at the time. I just had to financially provide for my travel, cars, food, phone bill, stuff like that. So I had to work. And
Dude, you
like I
lived the
said,
exact. I got kicked out of the house, but everything financially was taken care of for me. I had an ATM card, all the money. I could buy a $60 sack of weed every day if I wanted. I had a full tank gas cards. I had everything. Crazy. So we lived the same life, except I was spoiled. I was like a prince. I was like a little minor prince. I should have
nice.
fucking lived in Dubai or some shit. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what sucked about that is my mom, when she did move out, she's like, "Hey, I'll give you $20 or $40 a week." But
Yeah.
not shortly after she moved out, she found out that I smoked weed. And so
Yeah.
she's like, "You're not getting anything."
My mom tried that, but she didn't stick to it until I was like 30. When I was 30, she finally put her foot down.
Nice. It has happened at some age.
So
Look
you're
at you now, though.
Yeah, look, I know, crazy. Well, you know what else I got that you got? My dad did take me to work too, and I was surrounded by hardworking people. Like I just and working was fun and good, and service helping people was like, both my mom and dad were like service oriented people. My mom was an attorney and my dad owned a wine and cheese store, and they were just good people. So my dad, we would get off work and he'd be delivering wine to people's houses, or we'd go over and help an old lady fix like a wind blowing underneath her door. I just had good. Same with you. And I had uncles and aunts everywhere, and a little different than you. My parents were crazy affectionate. Like people were always hugging me and kissing me and pinching me and just all that shit. But some similarities. The hard work is huge.
Does your dad tell you he loves you?
The other day he told me he was proud, and when he told me, I'm like, oh, he must not tell me that very often, because I felt like the little boy in me is like, oh, he's proud of me. Like I savored it as long as I could. You know what I mean? Like when you suck on a lifesaver for as long as you can, you're like, I'm not biting this one.
Yeah.
It was like
Never
that.
made
I was
it
like,
through one.
oh, yeah, he's proud of me. So I don't, not him, but my mom was just like, my mom and my aunts and uncles. I was like, they treated me so good. Yeah. Did your dad tell you he loved you?
No. I think about it a lot, especially as people have been passing away in my life as we
Mm-hmm.
get older. I used to tell my dad all the time I loved him, probably until maybe 20, 23, somewhere around that age, my young 20s. But it was hard for him to tell me he loved me back. He would say it back, but I could just tell that it was hard for him to say those words. It was so awkward for him. I know my dad loves me. I know I'm his favorite child. I know these things.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Do
So
your
I know he
siblings
loves.
know that you're the favorite child? Yeah.
They do. And it's just because that dynamic of my dad was really stern with my sister because she is a female, and he knows what the world, that men chase women, and he knows that from
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
So he tried to keep her sheltered, and there was a lot of
He didn't want some
fight.
25-year-old guy fucking her when she was 15.
100%. 100%. So
Understood.
there was a lot of hatred between my sister and my dad, especially between her teenage and young adult years. And then my brother, he was just so young that he never really got to grow up with my dad. He grew up with my mom and her husband. And so the one that spent the majority of my time with my dad. And so I just know I'm his favorite because he's got cheap labor out of me for like, what's that, from
Mm,
like 11 years old until 21. I worked for my dad for 10 years. He got cheap labor out of me.
I
And
like
that's
it.
how, and that's how, it's weird because I feel like if I'm not working hard, I'm letting my dad down. And I feel
Right.
like that to this day. I almost pride myself when I'm out there on a Sunday working And I know my dad's going to be like, man, that's a hardworking guy, because he knows that's something he instilled in me, that I'm willing to go out there and grind no matter what. So when I go out there and work hard, it's like subconsciously, I know I'm making my dad proud. And I think we all want to make our parents proud.
Of course. Yes.
Like you
Yes.
said,
Yes.
when your dad said he was proud of you,
Yeah.
you felt a certain way. And
Yeah.
I don't know if my dad
Desperate. I felt desperate. For
Yeah.
affection.
So, I know I'm making my dad proud in two ways. My work ethic and the way I am with my family, because I do know my dad probably has regrets in the way our family was. And he's kind of told me those things in his drunken stupor that he would be in, maybe, that he would be, like, sad about it or reminisce on it, that he messed up our family. And so I also want to make him proud in the way I'm going to, be in my family with my child and with Ariel. That's the most important thing to me, is to be a good husband and a good dad, because like I said, I've learned lessons from my dad that I'm taking into my life to try to be the best person that I can be.
Two things. You just inspired me. I'm going to write my dad. My dad's in Armenia right now, but I'm going to write him a nice text, or maybe I'll even call him when we get off the show. And I'm going to tell my dad how proud I am of him. I'm going to tell him how impressed I am, because he's lived a wild life, similar to your dad's life. My dad was in and out of the country. He's an immigrant, all that shit. And I'm gonna instead of waiting for maybe him to tell me he loves me, I'm going to tell him how much I love him and how impressed I am with his life. Because he's done, like I could tell you're proud of your dad. I'm crazy proud of what my dad's accomplished too. And that's probably huge. Probably not a lot of kids tell their parents, holy fuck, you're amazing. And I really do think my dad's amazing. I mean, I think I tell my mom. My mom knows how amazing I think she is.
That just made me emotional.
Oh, good.
I've never even thought about telling my dad that I'm proud of him.
Hey, dude, when I had kids and my baby, I would sit on this couch or a chair, and I would hold my kid on my bare body. And then as he got older, he started, the kid starts holding you and touching you. And then even to this day, if I'm sleeping, if my kids come in and put their hands on me, or at night when I go to bed, they'll climb in and they'll just start touching me and holding me. I feel like they have cocaine in their hands. I feel just like the life force powering through my body. I feel just unfucking real. It's like this energy that I've never felt before. And so as soon as I had kids, I remember thinking, oh shit, I need to touch my mom and dad more. Like I need to bare skin touch them more, hug them more, squeeze them more. So because they probably get that from me. And that was one of the trippiest things about having kids. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like when your kid touches you, like your kid grabs your arm and the whole world stops. You're like, it's like they're recharging you with the life force. And so then I started thinking, holy fuck, I really need to, I just need to be more handsy with my parents, especially my mom. And I know when I hold my mom makes sounds.
Nice.
If you know what I mean? Like if I squeeze my mom really tight, like she makes mom sounds. Oh, nice. I love you. Or, you know what I mean? Like I could squeeze her so tight until she says, I love you. Maybe she wants me to let go of her.
Honestly, I think my mom probably would want me to do more of that. Like I said, I feel like I don't have a great relationship with my mom. She wants me to call her more. She complains about all that stuff because she lives in Florida right now. And I just think I'm going to, I guess, dive in a little bit more in the story of my family, if that's cool.
Yeah, please. Okay, hold on. I want to, because people are just having a blast with you. Dillon can fix a garage door opener. Dillon can replace a hot water heater before anyone turns on the shower. Check out Big Brain on Dillon. Fergie's just loving you. Dillon changes the backsplash twice a year. I mean, I really appreciate the effort Fergie's putting in. Dillon's favorite faucet. Dillon's faucets never drip.
Never.
Yeah, like this. This guy has you pegged already. It's not like peg, but this guy understands your abilities. Okay, go ahead. So go into your family more. Go ahead.
Okay, so when my parents first got, divorced, and I told you there was a period that I was upset with my dad, then I did feel a lot of emotions towards my mom and how awesome of a woman she is. And at that time, my mom did have a really good friend that helped us. It was their whole family, husband and wife and children. They were really close to us. And they were a really big part of my mom being able to be financially stable and take care of us from for a good while, from when I was like 12 to 15 before my mom moved out and all that good stuff. But and all during all that time, I did have a really good connection with my mom, and I think I put her
Mm-hmm.
on a pedestal
Yep.
where, and I've done this with other people too. Actually, I did this with Ariel when we were younger, first
Mm-hmm.
dating, to where I thought my mom could never do wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I always saw my dad do wrong to my mom. And I found out later in my life that my mom, I guess you could call it cheating, because if we want to go in biblical terms, when God says if you just look at a woman lustfully, you've already cheated in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
My mom had some kind of relationship with her best friend, the person that helped us, her husband, and it didn't get to a sexual relationship, but it was going there before it got caught. And then I found out that my mom is no better than my dad. Man, I'm about to cry about it just thinking about it, because I
We're
had her
just people here. We're just people here.
yeah, I just had her
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
high on a pedestal, and I just thought
Yeah.
my mom could never do wrong. And I think ever since that, it's I wouldn't say hardened my heart towards my mom, but I don't have as much sympathy to my mom as I did before.
Mm.
And we never had that bond like me and my dad had. So I've just more been drawn to my dad, and I don't feel as bad for my mom as I once did, because I come to find out that she's no different of a person than my dad is. And it's totally fine, but I also felt like she played that role of I'm a better person. And I kind of hate that when people think they're better than other people, because at the end of the
Mm.
day, we're all the same people. We all make mistakes. Nobody's better than the next person. And I kind of did that with Ariel too, because I had it on a really high pedestal when we first started dating. I'm telling you, I prayed to God when we were younger that he would give me the opportunity to be Ariel's boyfriend. And I
Bef-
knew
Before you were her boyfriend, you would pray to God, being like, "Hey, can you get me this chick? I'll
100%.
I'll be the best dude ever. I'll go to church
Yeah,
every Sunday if
100%.
you just let me just take a shower with this girl."
100%, bro. 100%.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I prayed. There was something about Ariel when we were in high school that she was just different to me than all the other girls. And it was just something I prayed on
She
a
is
lot.
different, dude. She is different.
Yeah. She's 100% different. She's an
She,
amazing woman.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I
She
had
is.
it on this.
She's cool, man. You got a really cool. She is really fucking cool.
Oh, bro, she's the coolest. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, the last 5 years, 6 years of my life, dude, they've been the most amazing years of my life. And I'm so excited for the next 40 years of my life to see what me and Ariel can do together and just the experiences we have.
Do you think she felt the? Let me ask you this: do you think she felt the pressure of you putting her? Oh, that's a sweet picture. Do you think she felt the pressure of you putting her on a pedestal? And do you still think to this day she's trying to live up to that? And like she's not in a bad way. Well, it's a bad way, but she's learned how to use it in order to achieve what she wants to achieve. Like, does she ever tell you when she has a bad performance that she feels like she let you down?
Yeah, yeah, she does.
She does.
100%. Yeah. I think
So
she
you
wants.
have to do this balancing act, right? You have to, like, you'll accept her no matter what, but you kind of can't let her know that, because that pressure that she feels maybe from the relationship, whether you're doing it on purpose or not, is what's elevating her. So you have to. There's this weird balance, right? I'm guessing. Like, you have to step
Kind
on her
of.
dick a little bit, but you also you can't let it out of the hat. Like, hey, just so you know, I love you no matter what. You kind of got to be careful. You don't want her to, like, fall off the podium.
Yeah, she just wants to make me proud. She
Yeah,
knows, when she won, elevated Elizabeth, and Tia was to her right and Laura was to
yeah,
her left.
yeah.
She was saying towards the end, of that workout, when she knew she was going to win that workout,
Yeah.
that one of the thoughts in her mind was, Dillon's going to be so proud of me. And that's so
Oh.
cool. Dude, that warms my heart to think that's one of the thoughts that are running through her head when she's out there on the floor. Because when I'm dying
A
in a
horrible
workout,
moment in her life, and she pushes through because I know that's awesome, dude.
I don't have Ariel on that pedestal anymore, because if I do that, I'm gonna hurt our family. I'm gonna hurt myself, because it's what I've done with my mom. I had her on a pedestal, and I found out that she's not perfect, and that's just something I think we all have to learn as we get older. Nobody's perfect, like I said before, and so I love my mom, but I just haven't been able to nurture that relationship to be what she wants it to be.
Mm.
But with Ariel, when we were younger, and I found out that she wasn't perfect, I was able to accept that. And I think it's made us even closer for it, because I always thought I wasn't good enough for her. Probably still to this day not good enough for her, because man, I'm so blessed that she chose me to be her husband, and to me it's a answered prayer from God. Like,
my wife is an answered prayer from God. Holy dude, you still got her on the pedestal. How the fuck is she supposed to live up to that? That's incredible, dude. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say that. My wife is my answered prayer from God.
Yeah, well, I pray to God for it. And when you're young and you're dating somebody, chances are you're not going to marry that person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to go through a lot of relationships in your life before you find the person you're going to settle down with. I just knew there was something about Ariel, and we went through this ebb and flow when we were younger. She liked me when we first met. I didn't like her. We were great friends, but I was chasing one of her friends at that time. And then things flip-flopped, and I got to know Ariel on a personal level and become really good friends and find out who she is as a person. And I fell in love with her. I loved her before we ever were dating.
Yeah.
And so I would say for a year I pursued her, and she didn't reciprocate those feelings. And I think I ruined that, because when she did like me, I was chasing one of her friends, and she knows what kind of a woman she is and what she has to offer. And she's like, well, if this guy doesn't want to be with me, screw him, because I have better things to offer somebody than this person.
How do you think she knows that? How do you think she knows that?
I would
Because
say
a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know how amazing they are, and what you're telling me is she knows how amazing she is, which requires a certain level of consciousness. And another thing that's interesting is it requires a certain level of consciousness also. Like, a lot of people don't know that their whole life is what they ask for.
Yeah.
And so you ask for something and you got it. So that also is a pretty wild level of awareness too. But how do you think her parents instilled that in her? Like, hey, dude, you're worth a lot.
100%. The biggest difference between me and Ariel is she didn't grow up with. I never grew up with struggle, but with tribulations, I guess. Maybe
Dude,
that's
you
the
grew
right
up with
word.
struggle. You lived in a fucking shelter, dude. That's ghetto as fuck, dude.
I
That
don't
is
know. I
ghetto.
like to put my life in perspective of people that have done a lot harder things than I have. People that have lost a parent to death. People that are getting like persecuted across seas for their religion or their beliefs.
Right.
So I'm
Could be
very
worse. You could
blessed.
live in Jerusalem. It could be fucking horrible.
100%.
You'd be quadruple. You'd have a mortgage. You'd be quadruple boosted and be concerned that Iran's going to lob a missile at you. What a fucked up life. But anyway, you're right. What's a shelter in Texas?
Yeah, bro, exactly. So I like to put my life in perspective of what a lot of other people have gone through. Yeah.
Yeah. You're bougie.
Ariel,
you're bougie.
I'm bougie, bro. Yeah, I'm bougie. But yeah, Ariel, she grew up I would say, a very privileged and loving household. Parents that loved her, showered her. Blakely had her birthday party yesterday, and we were talking about it, and she asked me if I ever had a birthday party. And
Blakely's how old's your daughter? She's 4?
She turned 5 Friday.
5. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so she had a nice, birthday party that Ariel put together for her at her gymnastics place, and we were talking about birthday parties, and she asked me if I ever had any, and I told her I had one, but it was with another kid. I think they felt sorry for me and threw me in.
They did. I know exactly the kind of birthday party you're talking about. They're like, oh shit, it's Dylan's party too. Put an extra candle on the cake.
And give one of this kid's presents to him.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, that's our gym right there. I'll start working on our garage doors yesterday.
Hey, how much does that thing cost to build?
So the shop right now, I'm 90 into it. It's 100 by 40 shop. I put plumbing in for a bathroom, a shower, and also drainage for.
So that would be 500 if I wanted to build it. It's only 100 because you're doing it yourself.
No, I saved money on the garage doors because I got a deal from my dealer. I saved about 16 grand on material for the garage doors, and of course I'm installing it, so I saved about 3,500 to 4 grand on labor. But the shop, I had somebody build it. I would have built it. That's another thing I grew up doing with my dad is building metal buildings. But honestly, if I would have built it, it probably would have sat there for 5 years before I finished it because I'm so busy with my business. I just don't have time to do those things anymore. So I'd rather pay somebody to do it and get done. It got done in 2 weeks.
Dude, it's so fucking nice. I'm so envious. Hey, I need to go back though. How does Ariel know? Because you nailed it. There's something about her that's really special. Like, there's something.
His AirPods just died.
No. Sounds like he's taking a deuce. Is he taking a shit? Where'd he go? Taking a deuce? He might have to switch settings on his computer.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's in a big room.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear his kids. Oh, it switched to someone else's AirPods. Oh, wow. We can hear what's going on, what Ariel is doing with the kid right now. It switched to someone else's AirPods. Everyone be quiet. Let's eavesdrop on Ariel. Nope, I hear nothing. No.
No, there's an echo.
I wonder if I can change. Yeah, good. No.
Oh. No.
He can just go. Let me see if I can go to his settings. Edit mic settings. Nope, I can't do it. Reduce background. No. Can't choose his. Wouldn't that be cool if I could choose his mic for him? It's like, nope, sorry, dude. You're going to use your computer settings. I could text him.
Make things a lot easier.
Can you hear me now?
Awesome. How does she know? Because everyone around her knows how cool she is. How does she know? How do you think it was instilled in her? I like what you said, that she has a high value, that she has a lot to offer.
So yeah, her upbringing, and she did a lot of sports, and I think she was always the best at what she did. So I think that gave her a confidence, and I just want to say her faith in God. That is one of the biggest things that Ariel's been able to give me is like, so I guess biblically speaking, the man's supposed to be the head of the household when it comes to faith and bringing God into the home. But Ariel kind of took that role over because I wasn't really religious or had a relationship with Christ when I was younger. I did pray every night, but that was more out of structure. My dad always said, pray at night. So I prayed for things that I wanted at night. I didn't do it the right way. And Ariel brought that into our house. And I don't know, it's hard for me to explain, but she had confidence in that. And when you have confidence in your faith, it just brings confidence to everything else you do in the world. You know, I guess the best way I can do it is I have confidence in anything I do that I'm going to do a good job, because when I was young, my dad made me a hardworking young man. And when I do something, I'm going to give it my best effort. And I think Ariel's the same way. If she's going to do anything, she's going to give it her best effort. And a lot of that just came up with her parents bringing her up in church and her finding out who she is. She doesn't need the outside world to tell her who she is. She's got that with her relationship with Christ that gives her confidence in who she is as a person. And she's always been like that. She's always had a really good relationship with her faith. And I think that's just like instilled into her who she is as a person. She just has really good morals. I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on it, but I just knew Ariel was different than all the other girls that I ever met or were friends with in high school. And it's somebody that I knew I wanted to marry. So, like I said, I pray to God that he would give me a chance to be with Ariel when we were younger, because I knew if we were get together that I was going to marry her.
You said something really cool. She has confidence in her faith. There's like a new agey version of that explanation of that about, I forget what the statement is, but it's something about control what you can control and don't try to control what you can't control. And so there's a I get that. I totally get what you're saying. Being around people who have faith that everything's going to be okay is, or that things are not even going to be okay, that things are unfolding the way they're supposed to unfold.
100%
is really, really good, right? So I'll use something really superficial. I could get something that says, hey, Sevan, we're not going to let you do the behind the scenes next year at Dickies. And I could go into a panic. But that's totally out of my control, right? And so then, and what's crazy about that is then 24 hours later, I could text whoever back, Heather or Dave, and be like, hey, I just wanted to say thanks for taking my application. I'm sorry you guys won't let me do it. And they're like, we're going to let you do it. What are you talking about? And I'm like, well, it says here you can't. And she goes, oh, no, that's a typo. It's supposed to be you can. And my life is full of shit like that. Whereas if I would have just reacted to what would have happened, it would have been I see kids do that. My kids do that all the time. They react to things. It's a total waste of energy. Like they think we're going out somewhere and then it rains and we don't. But then 15 minutes later, they're making cookies because they didn't get to go out because it's raining. And now they're happier than if they would have went out and like picked up garbage at the beach. And it's like, hey, dude, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's like, and so what you're saying, if I'm understanding, is Ariel's in that space. She has confidence in her faith. She's doing her best and she's controlling what she can control. And the rest she is dedicated to the higher power. She has faith in the system.
100%. And I think a lot of Christians, myself included, struggle with that confidence and faith. That's something that I'm working on myself, is to have that same confidence Ariel does in her faith, for me to have that same confidence. So yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. So yeah, pray to God for Ariel, and he gave her to me, and we made it work.
And on a crazy superficial level, I think Greg told me this one time. He said, hey, you know why Jews are the way they are? And I said, why? He said, because they find big brains sexy. And so that's, in their culture, that's a very attractive piece. And to be kind of funny here, but also kind of true, you said Ariel liked your butt. Well, look at her. She's this crazy entity that has this insane physical prowess. And as CrossFitters, we all know, like, it's all fucking being generated fucking from the hips, right, in the ass. And so she sees that and she knows that's power. I can, like, if it's got that, I can work with it and make it fucking do anything, right? It's like if someone gives you an engine, all you need is like, would you rather have a shell of a car? If someone's like, hey, do you want this body or do you want this engine? You take the engine, because then you can build the body around it. The body of a car is fucking worthless if it ain't got a good engine. I just found it interesting that that she liked that about you, because I don't know if there's a successful CrossFitter out there who has a small ass. It just doesn't exist. And all the dudes have giant asses, big hips and big asses.
Heck yeah. And Ariel's kind of had the body she's had now since she was in high school. And that was one of the things that drew me to her as well, was just not who she was as a person. But
like as breeding stock, you're like, okay, that'll make good kids.
Oh yeah, bro, 100%. Yeah. Her thighs have always been big and nice, like they are right now. And I don't know. I like a girl that has muscle on her, and Ariel had muscle on her in high school. Yeah, look at those bad boys. They're already nice and muscular.
Yeah,
and that's high
crazy.
School right there.
Look at she used to go to the tanning salon.
Yeah, she did a little bit. Not anymore.
Her and Rich Froney went to the tanning salon.
Heck yeah.
So how long after you prayed for her did you get her? How long did you have to wait?
I would say it was almost a year. So we were still really good friends, and she knew my feelings for her because I had told her.
How long were you friends? How long?
We were friends for 2 years. So a year she kind of pursued me almost, and a year I pursued her, and then I asked her to go to prom, and we went to prom together. And then after prom, she said something about that night changed something in her, and we from there almost started dating. We had talked about it, and it was after a party one evening. I was taking her back home, and she said, like, what if we started dating? And I told her, if we start dating, it's probably gonna. I told her directly, if we start dating, I'm looking for marriage. And that's so fun. Yeah, that's so funny for
talk about chasing someone off. You want to go on a date? Now I want to get married. Oh, fuck.
At 19 years old, when I think about that, those are some strong words to say to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I was just that confident, and Ariel was the woman that I would want to spend the rest of my life with. I don't know.
Why did you even want to get married? I didn't even want to get married. I never wanted to get married until I got married. It wasn't, after I got married, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm married. But even the day I got married, I was like, fuck, what are we doing?
Yeah. I don't know.
How did you know you wanted to get married?
I think it's because I grew up in a broken home without a loving family. And, like I said, I'm really goal oriented. And one of the goals that I wanted for myself is I wanted to have a beautiful family, as far as there to be love. I just knew when I was younger, I always told myself, I'm not going to have a family like this. And I just think when you're younger, everybody thinks that you're supposed to, get married and have a family. That's part of life. That's second nature to me anyways, to have a family. So I just always knew when I was younger, I wanted to have a certain type of family. And that was something I was going to pursue as I grew older. One of my goals in life was to have an awesome family, an awesome woman, an awesome child, and to be the best person I could be in that family. Because I know it brings happiness. It's, look at you. Is this the happiest you've been in your life since you've had a family?
Maybe happiness isn't the right word. Most fulfilled. Like when 100%. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I just cannot fucking believe I have my kids in my life and my wife. I'm fucking like I got a brand new Ferrari in the driveway. I cannot fucking believe it. Yeah, it's crazy fulfilling. I feel like I stumbled upon it though on accident.
Yeah, I know. You were almost too late to the party.
Thank you, Dillon. Yes. Hey, how many kids do you think how many kids do you think you're gonna have? Like, is there some point where you're just gonna keep oh, he can't hear me? You lost me?
Am I back?
Yeah. How many kids do you think you're gonna have?
So ideally,
honestly, just off the top, just let it slip out. 7.
2.
You're just having 2? But you come from your aunts and uncles, you had 9 and 8 and all this crazy shit. And she's made to breed, and you're made to breed. Look at your 2 bodies. You're made to be put together a team. How old is she?
I'm excited to see what our kids can do in the future.
How old is she?
Ariel?
Yeah.
She's 30.
Yeah, so 2 or 3 more years of CrossFit, and then a child every year till she's 40. We'll take 1 year off. So 6 kids between 33 and 40.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind more kids. I think the biggest thing about having so many kids these days is honestly the financial strain.
Yeah, I hear you. You'll figure it out. You lived in a shelter. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's true. It's just growing up, I didn't want to grow up and be poor.
Yeah. No, but you were.
I was pretty poor.
You were dirt poor.
Dirt poor, shelter poor.
Shelter poor. Yeah. Fuck it. And you turned out great. And I just, hey, isn't it amazing? It shows you just the crazy kind of lip service just the world has. Ariel's successful at what she does, the fittest female in the United States of America, beautiful, married, child. It's like it's unvaxxed. It's just like it's like she's perfect. Like I don't know. She's just perfect. It's just like it's kind of unreal. She got a husband who can fucking change out a toilet. I mean, she scored.
Yeah, she scored. She's not perfect. I could like last night. She snored like crazy.
Jesus Christ! All right, let's do it. What did she do last night? She peed on the toilet. When she got up, she left a little dribble on the toilet.
No, she's better than that. But
all right.
I had a hard time sleeping last night. She snores like a machine. It's no joke. Yeah. She's a big snorer.
Yeah.
And she'll probably.
Hey, one more thing. She still has her boobs, and she's a CrossFitter, dude.
Yeah, they're not as voluptuous as they once were, but they're still.
They'll come back.
Maybe with the
she
second
kept them.
kid.
You can tell when you look at her. You're like, oh yeah. She's kept her womanhood.
Yeah, she has a phenomenal body. Super blessed to have a woman with a body like that. 100%.
What do you do when she snores? Do you roll her over?
I touch her, and she knows that she's snoring loud. So it's just like a gentle touch at night, and it gives me maybe just enough time to fall asleep. As long as I fall asleep before she does, the snoring doesn't bother me. But for instance, last night I was really excited for this podcast, so I had trouble sleeping. I felt like a little boy on Christmas Eve, you know.
Good.
So I couldn't
like
sleep.
To hear that.
Yeah, and then when Ariel fell asleep, I was still up there just like thinking about tomorrow and how cool it's going to be a fan of the show and to get to come on and talk to you. And so by the time I finally got tired, which was like around 1:00 at night.
Oh shit.
She was snoring so loud, and so I just had to nudge her. And it's usually towards the end of the week when she's tired from training that it's louder. Once she gets rest, she seems to be, it's not even that loud of a snoring. I can just fall asleep to it. It's almost like a beautiful white noise to me. But it gets to a point to where it can be like a grown man sleeping next to me.
What? Hey, why not pray to God? Dear God. Insane ass. I appreciate it. Fucking great mom. Fucking keeps the house tidy like a fucking queen. What about the snoring thing, God? What can you do? Can you work with me on that? Start praying for her. Hey, what about sticking one of those things on her nose while she's sleeping?
I don't know. I've never thought of that.
That pulls your nostrils open.
Is that what causes snoring? Is congestion or whatever in the nasal cavities?
Yeah, it's probably the 6 gallons of fucking whey protein she consumes every day to fucking keep that body fucking humming.
Bro, protein free.
She is protein free?
Not protein free. What do you call those?
She doesn't do shakes.
She doesn't do shakes. No.
Wow.
Yeah, she does minimal shakes.
So shakes. So we've always shakes are just bullshit. All the supplement stuff's just bullshit. Got the fittest woman in the United States doesn't fucking drink Podium or First Formy or none of that shit.
Yeah, no, not really. So that's if we want to touch a little bit on PEDs and stuff.
Yeah, she's all juiced up. Tell us she's all juiced up.
All juiced up. Heck yeah. No.
She looks like it. That big old forehead of hers and the space between her teeth and that vein that runs from her toe to her fucking forehead.
Yeah. Well, I think I have a very different perspective on the PED use and CrossFit than a lot of people do, because I get to see what Ariel is doing and what she is putting in her body as far as food, fuel, and that she's able to be third fittest in the world just by eating healthy, training every day, and loving CrossFit. And so when people are out there accusing a lot of people in the CrossFit space of doing PEDs, I know that it's possible for the people at the top of the sport to be PED free, because Ariel's PED free and doesn't even do supplements as far as shakers or pre-workout, before workout, all of that like fake. To me, it's fake.
Caleb, it's so fake. It's Caleb, do a the only drug that's worth doing if you got to is caffeine. Caleb, do a poll. Ariel on natural or steroids?
Natty or not?
Yeah.
Natty or not.
Hey, dude, she might be the most natural. She might present as the most natural. She might present as the most natural athlete in the entire CrossFit space. Now that I think about it.
Oh, 100%. Because when a lot of times when we're in competition, before people are going out on the competition floor, they have their pre-workouts and all that stuff, and that's just something Ariel's never done to take a pre-workout.
Does she do caffeine? Does she do caffeine?
As far as caffeine, she drinks coffee. Paper Street every morning.
That's it. She doesn't doesn't like snort a line of espresso beans before she goes out.
Nope, just nice pressed coffee in the espresso machine. Maybe 1-2 cups a day, and she's so sensitive to caffeine. If she would probably drink a cup of coffee past maybe 1, it's gonna keep her up at night.
Dude, someone thinks she's on something. How could you possibly think she's on something?
I don't know. I can't tell you, but I live with her.
That's David Weed. That's David Weed. That's David Weed. That's David.
The guy that lives rent free in your head.
Yeah. I just saw him go over to the ballot box. Yep. Oh, he's voting on 5 different accounts that he has, all that she's on. Wow. I see. David, get away from the computer. David, take a step back away from the computer. Sorry, I don't mean to influence the poll. If you think she's juicing, fucking light her up. Okay, now this is going to get weird. We're going to let this go for like 3 more minutes so everyone get their votes in right now. And then we're going to pick another athlete. Oh, this is going to get fucking hairy. Because she'll be our baseline is the what?
Is there a way to run 2 simultaneously polls? Is that possible?
Oh, yeah. Can you do 2 polls at the same time, Caleb?
No, just the one. I'd have to end this one. Sorry.
YouTube's so fucking primitive. For those of you who don't do YouTube, the tools are. How could Google be this fucking epic company and the tools be so primitive? The tools are so primitive. Yes, it is me. Yeah, look at. He thinks she's you fucking asshole. You're gonna burn in hell.
It's cool. It's whatever. Over the head. I have another.
What's the other poll you want to do? What's the other poll you want to do?
The other poll
is Dave Castro on steroids? Is Dave Castro on steroids?
Actually, nothing to do with steroids. It has to totally do with toilet paper.
Oh, okay.
So this is an issue in our home. It's one of the things I get angry with Ariel about this.
Hey, let me ask you this. Do you think Laura Horvat's on steroids? Do you have opinions on who you think is on steroids and who's not?
A little bit.
Do you think Laura Horvat's on steroids?
No way.
Yeah, me neither. I don't. Yeah. Not even a tiny bit.
But like I'm saying, I with what I know about Ariel and being in the CrossFit space behind the scenes, it gives more, let me say, validity that people aren't on steroids, because I know what Ariel can achieve with not pre-workout, no supplements, like protein powder, all that crap. And she's able to be the 3rd fittest person in the world.
Fittest in the United States. That's I when she posted that the other day, I was like, what a beast.
Yeah, it was so cool. I reposted
that shit quick. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, honestly, I'm not going to say nobody in CrossFit's on steroids, because there, of course, are people that have gotten popped and are on there.
Right.
But it shows me that people can be the best and not be on steroids. Because if Ariel can be the best, one of the best in the world, and not just eat healthy and train every day and love CrossFit and what she's able to accomplish, then it just goes to show what all these other people in CrossFit are able to accomplish if they're natty.
Hey, can we go back and look at her again? Look how fucking hot your wife is. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she's banging, bro. Perfect. I got blessed, dude.
Perfect teeth, perfect skin. Fucking strong, makes babies.
There could be some editing on there. Who knows?
Fine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see that flag has 52 stars. They fucked up. Have you ever done steroids? You look like you've done some steroids. Look how big your forehead is.
Oh yeah, that's because I have a receding hairline.
No, you got that big. No, you don't have a receding hairline. You just got like you. Have you ever done steroids?
No, I'm not really big into fitness.
You're pretty big. You got a big head and you got big shoulders. You've never done any PEDs?
No, or protein shakes. So I
don't do those either.
I don't lift. Lifting is my least favorite thing to do. I like doing, CrossFit workouts, EMOMs, and stuff like that.
So that's just a man body you have? That's just from moving sheetrock around and wearing a tool belt and
yeah, that's from like these massive forearms that I have. That's from, turning springs all day on garage doors. Yes, sir. You got them too. Carrying those kids around.
Mine are from something different.
Yeah, a little bit of this.
Something. Don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me. And I've never masturbated in my life.
Me neither. But yeah, no. My body is just totally from work. 100%.
So you see her and you tell her, she's like, hey, do you want to date? And you're like, I want to get married. And then how does that play out? Is she like, whoa, hold your horses, fuck nut?
I don't really remember what she said after that, but I think she kind of agreed. And I think she knew I was different than a lot of people as well, just because of my upraising.
You were desperate for a family because your shit had fallen apart.
Yeah, something like that. No, I'm just not over there trying to bang girls, have, sex, just go out there being a dog, Yeah. I wanted certain things in life, and I think she knew that, especially since we were friends and we got to know each other. She knew my values and what I wanted out of life. And one of the things Ariel says that besides my butt that turns her on the most is what these hands can do.
Oh.
As far as
go ahead. She likes seeing you work with your hands.
She likes to see, 100%. She says nothing turns her on more than what I'm able to do with my hands as far as construction-wise, building. She knows if something needs to be done, that I have the abilities to do that. So she always tells me that all the time when she sees that my hands are dirty, cut up, that it turns her on.
Hey, dude, she sounds so healthy.
Yeah, she is.
She's attracted to hard work, and she sounds like such a fucking healthy woman.
Yeah.
My wife used to tell me that she liked my hands, and I have the ugliest little fucking hands. But I knew when she said that I was like, she still will tell me that to this day. And I'm like, yeah, that's like, I don't take it as comment. I just see it as like, oh, she's smart. Like, she's not looking at the things that the rest of the other women are looking at who make bad choices. I wonder how many women look at guys' hands. I wonder if that's like a common. Does your wife like your hands, Caleb?
I don't know. I haven't asked her that. I think
you can't ask her. That'll ruin it if you ask her.
She's never said anything, but she likes when I like
her.
Yeah, she likes when I'm like working on the house though. Like she
does.
Whenever she's just coming and hanging out, she just likes watching me work on the house.
Like if you're on the ladder with the tool belt
or something. Yeah, right.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, I think all start helping. Probably like a hard-working man that can build something with their hands.
Yeah, I think she likes that. It's kind of cool.
What are the rules, Dillon? If are there any rules when she's working out? So like, if she's, by the way, you got to stop shaking her when she's snoring. I don't like it. It gets to keep eating away at me. It's eating away at me because my wife does that to me too, buddy, and I don't like it. I fucking I'm sleeping. My wife does that to me too. She like touches me a little. I don't like it.
It's a gentle nudge. It's just enough.
She's a pro athlete, buddy. Fucking suck it up.
You're not wrong.
Put something in your ears. She's the honey. I love your snoring. Oh, or how about just record it? You know what else you could do to fuck with her? You record it with your iPhone for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then play it back under her pillow while she's sleeping. Hey, you want some of this?
Yeah. Hey, well, dude, it's honestly what's funny is she's woken herself up because of her snoring.
Yeah, I've waken myself up from that too. You've never done that?
No, I don't snore.
Wow,
I'm perfect.
Crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I don't snore. I don't fart. None of that.
God, you don't fart?
No,
I don't fart anymore. I used to fart in the early days a lot, my poor wife, but I don't anymore now that I got my diet kind of all dialed in. I don't really fart anymore. I do the morning fart. The morning obligatory fart, like you walk and you go put your hand on the wall and take a piss. I let like usually a huge ripper in there that I try to make loud. And then after that, I'm pretty good. And it doesn't even smell. And after that, I'm good. Do you do that morning one? Do you guys do the morning one?
Oh yeah, we do. Sure. You should. The next poll actually should be who farts more, Ariel or Dillon.
Here's the end of here's the last one.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
hey, so that was actually an IQ test. 10% of the listeners are retarded.
I agree. But
crazy.
That Ariel's gonna hate that I say this, but definitely in the family, the women fart the most.
Yeah, just in general in the Loewen family.
Ariel and Blakely.
Yeah.
You are outnumbered though, so.
I am, yeah, but Ariel knows how to fart.
When are you going to have a second baby? Do you know?
Yeah, I'll definitely be when the wheels on this train fall off of Ariel's career.
What do you use to make sure she doesn't get? How do you time it? Does she just do like? I know. Do Mennonites just like have a calendar like the Catholics, and you're like, all right, don't let one fly this week?
No, sadly, she's on birth control.
Oh, like the pills?
The pills, yes.
Does she know what she's doing? I don't think you're supposed to do that. I think that fucks with your hormones. I don't think you're supposed to do that. Does she know what she's doing?
I mean, we definitely don't like it, but
yeah.
Dude, my pull-out game is weak. Look what happened.
I understand. Hey, dude, no one's pull-out game is strong, dude. Nobody's.
Yeah.
There's weak pull-out game and there's liars.
Yeah, and I don't know what condoms are, so the next option is birth control. I don't like it. I definitely will say when we're done having kids, I'm definitely gonna have a vasectomy because I don't.
No.
Why?
No.
You're just fucking with Sevan today,
bro.
Why? What's wrong, Sevan? What's wrong with that?
He thinks it fucks with the viscosity.
That's one thing. That's one thing. So this thing fires out of your penis, right? This special sauce, and then but you're basically going to close one of the valves that puts in some of the special sauce, the soldier specifically, and so that could change the texture, the viscosity, the everything about the semen. But also, the balls were never meant to have surgery on them.
Well, let me ask you.
Please talk to your dad about that first. There's got to be something in the Mennonite rule book about fucking snipping the ball. You cannot snip the. Do not.
Well, let me ask you this, Sevan. You only have two choices.
Okay.
You have two choices. Either your wife has to be on birth control, or you would have to get a vasectomy. Which one would it be?
It would be a vasectomy.
All
but
right.
I don't expect. What do they say in our? I don't accept that notion of there are only two choices. I don't accept that. I think you should ask God, like, hey, God, what would you like to see? Here's I'm gonna tell you how to do it as your personal guidance counselor. I want you to start praying, God, how many kids should we have, Ariel and I? And then as you go out through the day, like you'll see numbers on billboards and shit, or like numbers will start coming to you. You'll start seeing them, and you'll see God speaking to you. Maybe you'll pass a litter of puppies and you'll see that dog had 12 puppies and be like, oh, fuck, I'm supposed to have 12 kids. But I don't think this, you guys are too special to only to she's got to get off the pill. She's got to get off the hormones and and definitely don't snip the balls. You're a genetic specimen. And you guys have to have a shitload of kids. I'm getting stressed out about this. Oh, here we go. Sevan believes semen is the life force. Well, that too.
It is. There's life in the semen.
Yeah. Bunch of soldiers.
Heck yeah.
Oh, look at he's gonna see F-45 and be like, oh shit. Yeah, there you go. Oh shit! Listen to this, Leaky. Vasectomies are so bad. This next sentence really scares me. I wish I'd never made my husband get one. Made?
Ooh. I don't know. So it's totally.
No one's making me do shit. There's nothing. My wife could tell me. Here's the thing. My wife could tell me I'm going to leave you if you don't get a vasectomy.
Whatever, bro. You said you wouldn't leave your wife if she cheated on you. You're full.
There's no scissors. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's no. No.
You do it.
No, I would fucking super glue the end shut before I fucking let them take a tube of super glue and shoot it down the fucking pipe.
You just wouldn't have sex anymore?
No. Well, I no. Look at Audrey. There's no putting Sevy in a corner. I just can't. But anyway, there's time. We're just talking about it. We're discussing it. No pressure.
It hasn't been done yet. So good. We're all good. Yeah.
Right.
But I would say, I think one thing I would like to try is when Ariel decides, let's say before the season starts, like this is going to be my last year competing, I would like her to get off of birth control, because they do allegedly say that as far as it inhibits performance.
Yeah.
So I would like to see if that is something that would inhibit or would increase her performance if she got off of birth control.
Right.
So probably
I don't approve of anal is the solution. I don't approve of that either.
I approve.
Sean Lenderman, my wife wants me to get a vasectomy because I keep knocking her up. That's fine. She's supposed to be knocked up. Josh, look at this is God speaking to us. He has God in his name. Let's say Dillon really is a genetic specimen. There it is. God just told us that. You have to look at that.
Thank you. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, Josh Godinez. I love that. That's my boy. You know who that is, right?
No.
He works for HWPO. He's one of their right-hand men.
Haley, could you come here a second? Oh, that's my wife. Hold on real quick. What other methods could Ariel and he doesn't want to wear condoms and she's on the pill. What other methods? But they're very frisky. What other things could they do so that she doesn't get pregnant? You're dismissed. You're fucking dismissed. I can't even tell you what she said.
What did she say?
No, she said abstain. The fuck kind of answer is that?
No way. Never in my life.
I'm not calling you on the show for a month now.
I'm getting it while the getting's good.
It's going to be good for a long time. You're in a when a woman is like 30 to 40, they're unsatiable.
Yeah. You ever
know? Isn't that weird? Like we have one and we're ready for a nap. They have one and they're like, I'm ready for 15 more. You're like, what the fuck? I'm just getting started.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing about when Ariel was pregnant, what sucked is when Ariel was pregnant, we didn't live together at the time, but she desired sex like a man would.
When they're pregnant.
When they're pregnant.
Yeah. Pregnant women are absolutely. Oh, sorry. Speak your mind. Oh, okay. She says you should just jerk each other off. That lacks intimacy. Hey, the pregnant woman is it's nuts, right? And you don't have to worry about getting them pregnant.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, that was probably when of course I'm super attracted to my wife, but there was something about Ariel being pregnant with my kid that made me even more attracted to her.
Yeah, me too. Not Ariel, but my wife. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
and the vagina is like just a big, wet, messy hamburger. It's just like it's just always ready. You don't even have to you could just run at it from across the room. What? Oh yeah, she said just have a kid. Yeah. The pregnant vagina is God. It's God sent. It's God. I encourage you to read. Oh, here we go. Jocelyn Strong. She's got wearing the Mennonite hat. Oh shit, here we go. From a fellow Mennonite. I encourage you to read Taking Charge of Your Fertility for some natural family planning.
Yeah, we don't
how the boobs the boobs get crazy too, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Amazing. It's just amazing all around.
Oh, look at Jake Chapman punched lasagna. I don't know what that is, but yeah, the vagina is like, just lasagna. Yeah, it's like a hamburger. It's like Jonathan, just imagine the two pieces of bun and then the burger sticking out. That's what it's just a swollen, bulbous, but with just sauce just everywhere. It's just ready.
I think you're ready to have another kid.
Yeah, I am. I would. If my wife told me if I got her pregnant again, she'd give me triplet girls. Like that's supposed to discourage me.
When Ariel was pregnant, we both really wanted a boy. But now that we got a girl, honestly, once you have a kid and you get their personality and find out who they are as a person, you just want a healthy kid. And
yeah. I'll take three girls. I'll take three. I would love 3 girls to match my 3 boys.
Yeah, I don't even know how it'd be a boy dad. I think it would be weird to have a son now, just because all I know is to be a dad to a little girl. but I do treat her really roughly. She got boxing gloves for her birthday yesterday because we fight. You know,
have you made her cry? Have you made her cry a bunch?
I'll put bruises on that kid. I ain't scared.
I know it's funny whenever I fight it's like I used to fight with my sister a lot. Like we would wrestle a lot. Like and it always ended in a fight. But it's no different with my kids. When I wrestle with my kids, but now usually when I wrestle with my sister, it was me who always ended up crying. But now it's always them. But I always end up like choking someone out, or I put my hand on someone's face so they can't breathe, or I pull hair, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And I do just some dirty shit, and they start crying, and then I run out of the room like a little kid. Then I just run. You know what I mean? I don't want to get kicked in the knee or something.
Heck yeah. No, it's one of her favorite things to do, getting home from work. She'll be like, Dad, you want to fight? You want to fight?
Oh.
So, you know, she enjoys fighting. And I actually want to teach her, because, like, she got boxing gloves. I want her to teach her how to punch properly. You know, right now it's just this kind of fighting where the arms are wailing left and right. I want her to be able to throw some combinations and stuff like that. I think that would be cool for her to learn, especially self-defense as she gets older and she grows up in a ghetto school, because we have 12 kids and I can't afford to put them in a good school.
Yeah. Now you're talking.
Some you know, kids.
Some Mexicans.
Yeah.
Hey, you can now start taking I put my kids in a striking class and a kickboxing class, not even a class. I gave them they've had a one-on-one instructor since they've been 4, and now they've been doing it for 3 and 4 years, depending on which kids I'm talking about. But all of them can throw hands, like wicked combinations. They got footwork. You can be like 1 1 2 5, and they'll give a bam 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 bam. Like they know they know a 5's an uppercut. They know the hooks. It's crazy. It's super slow. But my kid, you should start getting them an instructor. You should just hire an instructor to come to your house and train with your daughter, or take her somewhere one-on-one, 1 hour a week. And dude, you'll be blown away. My kids are like, it's really cool. It's really, 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 really cool. Yeah. That's that kid's only 6. Look at that. He's already got footwork and throws hands.
Yeah, it's amazing. Do your kids show any interest, like in UFC? Do they watch it with you?
No. Like last night I watched the fights, and they just if they come by, they'll be like, oh, that guy's doing a omoplata, or that guy's got a good hook, or hey, that guy's telegraphing his punch. Like they know more than I do, but they have no interest in it. Like is in,
what one day's wanted to be a fighter.
Yeah, no. This kid actually, Joseph yesterday walked in at the end of the fight and fell asleep on my lap. And one time he looked at the TV and he goes, oh man, he goes, that blood looks gross. So, yeah. And I sure as fuck don't want my kid getting punched in the head for a living.
Yeah, I guess that's true. What? I didn't watch the fight, but I saw I went to decision with Strickland. What happened there?
He won the first round, the second round, and the 5th round.
Okay.
In my opinion, he won the first round, the second round, and the 5th round. And the other guy is really scary. The South African guy was pretty amazing, Duplessis, and he took so many punches to the face. But they gave it to they gave it to Duplessis instead of Strickland. I think it was close. I think it was a split decision. One judge picked Strickland, one judge picked the South African. Historic fitness. He was robbed. I am biased. I really like Strickland.
I like him too.
I'm a little Bruce Wayne. The judges are horrible. Yeah, but the other guy's good, and it's good. There's going to be some crazy fights coming up in the UFC. Yeah. Why didn't you watch it? Are you not a big fan, or you were?
No, I'm a big fan, but what was it? I think it's our time, 12 o'clock that it's on.
Oh, right.
And so, I mean, I was up till 1, but I was laying in bed, just being giddy. And I didn't even think about the fight as far as going and trying to watch it. And then at that time, it's late and I don't want to pay $50 to watch a fight. So I just figured I'd watch the highlights. I usually just like to watch the highlights. I kind of keep up with the people in the UFC. Very rarely will I buy a fight. If Conor's fighting, I'll buy a fight. If Conor's fighting, or Nick Diaz, I like Nick Diaz a lot. I'll buy his fights, but they're not really fighting. Nick is out of the, or Nate, my bad. I'm talking about Nate. Nate's
I
out of the UFC.
I understood.
Yeah, and Connor's allegedly supposed to fight this year, so I'll probably buy that fight. And I like Strickland, but I'm not very invested in him as far as I know a lot about him. I've just seen his clips of him talking, and I agree with a lot of the things he says. So I like him as a person. I just don't really know his fighting style or anything like that.
The two things, I don't know if I agree with what he says. I just like the fact that he's being himself, and I accept him for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's not saying anything illogical to me. I think it's okay to be like, I don't think it makes you an Islamophobe to not like the religion of the Muslim religion. Like you can, tons of people openly say they don't like the Christian religion. Why can't you say you don't like the Muslim religion? I mean, and if let's say you don't want a gay son, I think that's perfectly fine to not want a gay son. I think like it doesn't make you a homophobe. And so I just love the fact that he's saying that shit. And I think it's more honest, and I think it's more to the sentiment of society. But on top of that, dude, he basically says, hey man, I'm there's nothing special about me. I'm just a fucking typical story. I grew up with a dad who was a fucking raging alcoholic who beat the fuck out of me. And so my comfort zone is beating people or getting beaten. And I'm just living my pathology and my issues over and over in the ring. And I'm like, holy fuck. And then he's like, I'm not using this platform to glorify myself. I'm using it to stand up and fight against the evils in the world, which are like fucking, we know that all those fucking libtards out there, the crazy shit that they're doing. He wants to stand up and fight for kids, and I respect that. But then on top of all of that, he fought the greatest striker in UFC history, Israel Adesanya.
Yep.
The last Albender, and just using the most basic rudimentary boxing skills, but that are so dialed in, beat him. I mean,
yeah, that was crazy. I watched that fight.
That was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And so just there's so much being emphasized there, and just being good at the basics and the rudimentary skills, and just always go back to the basics. And what's Greg Glassman say? Do the common uncommonly well, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
His jab's insane. He would have, if that fight would have gone 6 rounds, he's gonna knock that fucker out.
Heck yeah. Was the guy that he fought, what was it, like a month ago when he was watching a fight and somebody said something to him, and he asked the wife and child to move out of the way, and then he punched him?
That was the guy he fought last night.
Okay.
Those two dudes fought it out in the audience just like the week before, or a month or two before, which was, it's kind of, and they didn't even care after the fight. They were like, oh, good. Even though they fought in the stands, there was like, they didn't talk shit. They weren't like, your wife's a whore. They were like, they were totally cool with each other.
Yeah, well, I've never personally fought somebody, but the weird thing is when people get into a fist fight, they seem to always be friends afterwards. In the real world, maybe not in the cage, but in the real world, I've seen people fist fight, and then they become great buddies afterwards, which is really strange to me.
Well, you have to think at least those dudes here it is. Look, here they are. Look it. Oh yeah. He asked that. Oh shit. He asked that little kid to move. You're right. I didn't ever notice that before. He's like, excuse me, kid.
Yeah, excuse me. I that's things I like about him. I maybe not agree with everything he said. But he had an amount of respect and control that he was able to ask this kid to move out of the way before he was about to, beat the shit out of this guy.
Hey, look what a good fighter he is too. As he's throwing those punches down on the head, instead of hitting him with the fist on the head, he turns it at the last minute and gets in some
elbows.
Yeah. Damn, look how quick the security gets there. Look at the bald black dude and the bald white dude.
Heck yeah.
Crazy.
But I got a lot of respect for those guys, because I've always wondered what type of person I'd be in a situation like that, in a flight or fight mode, if I'm going to be a fighter, or if I'm going to run away with my, tail between my pants. I'd like to think I would fight, but you just never know until you're put into that situation.
Do you remember the last time you told someone to fuck off? Like just like on the street or just anywhere, like in your car, like someone likes tailgating you and they pull up next to you at a light, you roll down your window, you're like, hey, and they lower the window, you're like, fuck off.
Man, I think I've only been so angry in my life twice that I'd want to try to beat the shit out of somebody. And it's both been times that people did me wrong in business.
Oh.
Yeah. And
what have you ever been with Ariel when someone cat calls her?
That's happened actually once when we were dating at a bowling alley. And it was like a group of us, my sister, two of her friends, Ariel, and these guys, Mexicans, wearing their Dallas Cowboys t-shirts, came over there and were trying to holler at the girls. And
they were trying to holler.
That's what they were doing, trying to holler. And the first time I let it slide because the women, like Ariel and them, said, no, we're not interested. But after the second time, I did approach them and I'm like, dude, they already told you no. And that was a time I did think I was going to get into a fight because, that they were hoodlums, I guess you could call it. They weren't scared to get into a fight. But I just told them, like, dude, they're not interested. Leave us alone. And they were like, let's go outside. Let's take us to the parking lot. And I would have gotten jumped because it was like 4 guys and it was me and one other guy. So it wouldn't have worked out well. But yeah, that's been Ariel's been catcalled there. And other times Ariel's just been told that she is beautiful from a man while I was there. Respectfully.
Right. Hey, I mean, you got to be cool with that. Well, first of all, if you think you're the only person who wants to fuck your wife and you're a man in this world, you're out of your fucking mind. Like you didn't pick a woman. You're not like, fuck, I'm gonna pick a chick with no arms, no legs, and a fucking eye missing. So no one else wants to fuck her. Oh, you. I mean, like no one's doing that, picking a chick. But on top of that, without a fan base, there's no career for it's like if people didn't need rain gutters, there'd be no job for your dad. And so if there weren't people who admired Ariel for her physical abilities, her beauty, her grace, how she performs on the world stage at the CrossFit Games, she couldn't do it and make money. So I guess there's a give and take. But it's not like all the guys out, like this sport, if these girls were wearing fucking burqas out there, no, this sport would be dead in the water.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm not ignorant to the fact
bra and panties. I'm not criticizing you, by the way, either. But the bra and panties, working on your bra and panties part is like, I mean, we're at the 51-yard line of what makes this thing roll.
Oh yeah, dude. No, I'm not ignorant to the fact that there's men and probably women out there that would desire Ariel, that probably go and rub one out, to the thought of Ariel. I did that when I was younger, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're rubbing one out to anything CrossFit puts out, you have fucking serious issues. You ever rub one out to any CrossFit content?
Me, no.
Yeah, me neither. That's just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The CrossFit Games is like the worst porn ever. Jesus Christ. But you're right, there's fucking 500,000 people, dudes out there who do.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of my growth as a person has come through that because I would say my biggest fault as a person is trust.
Wow. Do you dig through her phone? Do you read Ariel's texts?
No, not like that. I've never.
But you're up at night being like, I'll fucking go over to her phone. I swear to fucking God, I'll go look in those DMs. See what Sevy's saying to her.
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said the thoughts never gone through my mind about this is when we were younger, not in our marriage, because my trust has grown a lot, but from the time when we started dating, and I would say not right when we started dating, but a little bit more when we started having, issues in our relationship to before we got married, I had a lot of trust issues. And that just stems from when I was younger and the relationship issues that my parents had. Yeah. Of course, I'm going to grow up with some trust issues. I don't think there's no way around it. But I saw that my parents had trust issues and the way my mom knew what my dad was doing and not trusting him, that I'm going to have some kind of trust issues in my relationship growing up. And those are things that I've worked on. I've never been one to look through her phone. I've been more as a person, like, I'm going to trust you until you do something that gives me a reason not to trust you. And that did happen in our early years when we were dating. And I just had to overcome that issue and just work on my trust. And there was a point to where I think Ariel wasn't as devoted to our relationship as I was. And I was probably...
Oh, she pulled the internet right there. She was sitting by the internet the whole time. She just cut the cord. You froze for a second.
Yeah. And there was issues when we were in our early years dating with me not trusting her. And that's actually how I got this messed up eye right here.
Why? What happened?
All right. So good story.
Okay.
Well, back in the day when we were dating, she had told me that she had deleted her Snapchat.
Okay.
And so the preference before that is I felt like I couldn't trust her because she would talk to some guys, and I never know what anything led to. And as people usually build up things worse in our heads than they actually are.
Right.
And so I just felt like I couldn't trust her. And so she said she deleted, Snapchat.
But the truth is you were insecure about her talking to other dudes.
Yeah, 100%.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
I guess that's how I was insecure. And so I felt like I couldn't trust her. It was 100%, I think, a me thing, because Ariel's I've never been able to, besides just maybe seeing somebody that she talked to that I didn't approve of. Right. There was nothing that I could see that she had been misleading me or be unfaithful to me.
You never went to her house and you went into her bedroom and there was a used condom in the trash can.
100%. Yeah. Nothing along those lines or anything. And it was just all me being speculating and 100% insecure. And so then trust issues arise. Yeah. So anyways, she told me, like, I didn't tell her to delete her Snapchat. And you're familiar with Snapchat?
Kind of. I know of it. I've never used. I tried. I had it on my phone for a second. I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. But I understand. Like it's where things disappear. You send like dick pics and then they disappear. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can still see who they are communicating to, and so she just would communicate with people that I probably wouldn't approve of. Especially, like I said, I think I was at a different level of commitment to our relationship, where I wouldn't say I had any female friends, because I just think that can lead to issues. But anyways, so she told me, she's like, I'm going to delete my Snapchat. And I was like, you don't need to delete your Snapchat. I just don't want you Snapchatting these guys. And I just think it's weird if you're doing that on a platform like that, where things are getting automatically deleted. Right. And so she deleted it. And long story short, we're at a wedding and we're talking amongst our friends and stuff. And one of her friends mentions to her, hey, have you been getting these things that I sent you on Snapchat? And I that's where I come to find out, like, hey, you told me you deleted Snapchat, but when we're not around, you're re-downloading the app.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Sketchy, right?
Sketchy. Yeah, so you can't check sketchy. It, motherfucker. Yeah.
And so I find out that, and what ticked me off because of that is I was like, dude, don't delete the Snapchat. I don't care about the Snapchat. I just care about who you're talking to. But she's like, I'm going to delete it. And then when she's not around me, she's re-downloading the app. So it's a little,
she's a Snapchat addict. She's a Snapchat addict.
Who knows? That's one thing I've chalked it up to. This is before our marriage, and it is what it is, nobody's perfect. So,
dude, that sounds perfect to me. I'm not even giving her a ding for that. Man, I did some.
That's good. It's my insecurities.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, so I was already pretty intoxicated at this point. I had bought 2 small little bottles of Fireball. I was planning on getting, it was a wedding. I was planning on drinking. Yeah. And I had drunk one already. And so when I found out that she's re-downloading the Snapchat app when we're not around, I went and drank the other one. I was like, I'm like, F this, man. I'm going to get wasted tonight. And so I got wasted. It was the first time I ever blacked out. I always thought people talking about blacking out was fake until it happened to me. Yeah. And so we're driving home from the wedding. Well, we're driving to her parents' house. I was going to stay with her at her parents' house because the wedding was in the town she was living at. And I was upset, and I just told her, let me out of the car. I don't want to, be around you right now. And so she lets me out of the car, and that's the last memory I have until I wake up from this blackout, and I'm walking on some railroad tracks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I'm walking on these railroad tracks, and I come to a stationary train that has these oil tankers, about 15 feet up, as high as a train can get. And there's just a line of them. And I had the smart idea that I'm going to climb up this oil tanker and I'm going to run from one to the next. I don't know, just being young and dumb. And so I did climb up there, run from one tanker to the next. And then once I got exhausted, I'm like, I'm going to turn back around, get off from where I came from, and I'm going to find my way back to Ariel's house and whatever. Well, somewhere along the lines of walking back, I tripped and fell. And the last thing I remember is trying to grab the top of the train. Yeah. And then I wake up and my whole left side of my body is hurting, tore up. I can't see.
And where are you? Are you on the ground? Are you on the ground?
Yeah, I'm on the ground. So I fell, 15 feet-ish, standing up straight to the ground. And then tracks are usually kind of built up. So, I probably fell a good 15 to 20 feet on a rocky surface, and it knocked me out. Next thing I know, I wake up and my whole left side of my body is hurting. It hurts to breathe. My arm's tore up and I can't see out of my eye. And so I pull out my phone and I call Ariel, and I only got out, baby, I'm not doing so well. And then my phone dies.
Oh, shit.
And so I have no idea where I'm at. Like I said, I blacked out and somehow I got to this train place and got there. So I walked all night. I spent the next 6-7 hours getting my way back to Ariel's house, and I wasn't really familiar with the city. So I just knew once I got to this interstate, I could get to Ariel's house. And eventually I found the interstate, got to Ariel's house, showed up as the sun is rising, knock on her door. She opens it and just starts crying. And actually, Beaver, go to my Instagram page and you'll see my messed up eye after I had surgery.
Oh, you had to have surgery?
Yeah. Can you zoom in on that? Yeah, that's 35 stitches. So I ripped my eyelid off of my eye and it was hanging on the side of my face. And so I had to get reconstructive surgery to reattach the muscle that lets me blink. And then I had to get X amount, he said 35 stitches above my eyelash or my eyebrow to stitch that all back together. And then I would assume a few broken ribs because it hurt to breathe for X amount of months or weeks.
Yep.
And then I had to get stitches on my arm as well. I tore my arm open. So, and then I married Ariel after that.
How long did you stop drinking after that?
I've never gotten to that intoxication rate since then. I learned a lesson from that. I'm not going to ever black out. I'm never going to drink out of anger. And we rarely don't drink. The last time that I drank was when Ariel won, or not won, but podiumed at the games. So that's the last time I had a sip of alcohol and that was probably with me.
And that was probably with me at the dinner table.
No, it was at the after party. I got drunk.
Oh.
I got a funny story about that too, if you want to hear.
Please. You started Snapchatting with Daniel. You Snapchat with Daniel Brandon now.
Yeah, if I was doing that, Ariel would be so upset with me. But no, so I got pretty intoxicated when Ariel podiumed at the CrossFit Games at the after party.
Yeah.
And our flight the next morning was leaving pretty early. And I've never been one to have good hangovers. I usually I'm puking the next day until almost like alcohol's a poison. I'm puking till like 5 o'clock in the evening, just constantly. And so we're over here going to the airport. I'm feeling like shit. I'm throwing up.
Yeah.
I have a huge hangover.
Wow.
And do you know what the dads are?
No, but was she hungover like that too?
Nah, she didn't drink.
Oh,
she had one
Good
drink.
Job.
Yeah, I've seen in our 11 years together, I've seen Ariel drunk twice.
Wow.
Yeah, great stories too. So yeah, dads are the day after drinking shits. You've never heard of those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just like where you got basically diarrhea.
Yeah.
So we're in the airport, and I have those. My stomach is grumbling. I'm feeling horrible, and I have to go into one of those family stalls because it's the only thing that was available where it's wide open and you just lock the door.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, puking. Where I'm pooping, I'm puking, and I'm on Instagram. And Ariel has her post come up where she's podiumed at the games, and it's an emotional song that's like "Spirit Lead Me," something along those lines.
Oh, and you start crying.
So, bro, get this: I puke, cry, and shit all at the same time.
Probably little pee and probably little peeing.
Probably because at that point, all the words are coming out, and so I'm bent over on the toilet. There's a drain on the floor.
Yeah,
I can't throw up in the toilet because I'm using the toilet. So I'm just bent over, throwing up in this drain, crying, looking at Ariel's post that she just made, that post right there. And it was just an interesting mix of emotions that all come together in one. And I just thought it was a funny story to myself that I'm over here feeling like crap. I'm puking my guts out. I'm pooping. And then at the same time, I'm super emotional about what Ariel accomplished. And still, to this day, if you play that, I might cry because that thing makes me so emotional.
Hold on one second. We have to take a 1-minute break while I pee. My bladder's about to pop. You don't even have to want to do CrossFit. You don't have to want to be a coach. You don't have to want to be a trainer. If you just want the operating manual to your body, it's not just Forging Elite Fitness. It's the operating manual to the human genome. You'll take this CrossFit Level 1 seminar and you will walk away inspired. From the second you leave, your entire life will change. You will make significant changes to your life because you are excited. You will start tweaking with your diet. You'll start tweaking with your movement. You'll start tweaking with who you hang out with. Everything will take a shift. For some people, it'll be massive. For some people, it'll be a little bit. No matter what, you'll move towards a better life. Everyone is going to sense it in you that you are more accountable, more personally responsible, happier, more helpful, more thoughtful human being. And you'll be nicer to look at. You might talk too much shit about CrossFit, but
better.
Okay. So you're puking into the drain.
I'm pooping.
I need to run a commercial for Vindicate from now on whenever I take a break. I need to sell more shirts. You're pooping, you're puking, and you're crying, and you're peeing. Well, and scrolling through Instagram.
Nah, just looking at what Ariel posted. This is on repeat. Even still to today, we can't believe that Ariel podiumed at the games. It seems like a dream. It's unreal. Not in our wildest imagination would we ever think that Ariel would stand on the podium.
Dude, Laura Horvat wrote, "Love you, Ariel." I didn't even know Laura had love in her heart. That's amazing.
Dude, Laura is one of the coolest people at the games, and her and Ariel have an awesome relationship.
Oh, wow.
I personally love Laura. She's awesome.
Yeah, me too. But it's one way. She's not reciprocating. It's just one way. I love her too, but it's fucking one way.
I don't know, dude. I think she's definitely playing that game that you think y'all are playing. That's why I love her, because I see that in her. I see her being that kind of person.
I'm here for it. Yeah, I mean, the other day when I called her phone, she could have just not answered. Instead, she passed it off to her brother.
Yeah, I talked to Christoph about that at Wadapalooza.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I watch you. I basically watch you every morning. I usually don't watch you live. I'll just throw in an ear pod, and that's usually my mornings when I'm working. I'm just listening to y'all talk. It's almost every morning, so I catch about everything that you talk about every day or whatever you're doing. So I believe that was Christmas morning, something along those lines, that you called her and Christoph.
Oh, maybe it was Christmas morning. Maybe it was. God, no wonder she doesn't like me. The audacity to fucking just call her on Christmas morning. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I will say that was the only thing Christoph wasn't crazy about, was that you had called on Christmas morning.
Fuck that dude. Beat his ass when I see him. Hey, I'm going to tell you this. This is what a prick I am. I asked someone to be on my podcast, and they said, sorry, I can't. It's my birthday. And in my mind, I was like, that's not an excuse. That's like, oh, you should be thankful. Oh, there's no better way I'd like to spend my birthday than be on the Sevan podcast. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, if you'd asked me to be on your podcast for my birthday, I would think it would be super awesome. Just
what about Christmas? Would you come on Christmas? How about Christmas morning? Would you come on Christmas?
I would, but I would also ask Ariel if it's okay. Like, if we're going to speak for 2 hours or something along those lines, I would definitely ask Ariel about it. I personally would want to, but if she's like, hey, that's going to take away from us opening presents and spending family time. Because
hey, dude, it's the Christian thing to do is to come on this podcast on Christmas morning and give. Hey, Caleb, stop. It's not a laughing matter. This is serious as a heart attack. Hunter and Hiller came on here Christmas morning because it's their way of giving back. It's a day of giving. It's what God would want them to do.
Yeah, that's true. It was their gift from them to you.
To everyone, to all of humanity.
Yeah. Next kid Ariel has when we're in labor, I'll hop on. Let's do a live.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes. How about Cara Saunders? Do you like her?
Yeah,
she's like the Australian version of maybe Ariel, but she got a little more. She got edge to her. But I think maybe Ariel has some edge to her though that we just haven't seen yet. She keeps on the down low, but that you see it.
Yeah,
like when Ariel turns off the lights in the bedroom, you ain't turning them back on. Like when she goes to bed, you ain't fucking around. If you got to do something, like you got to leave the room and do it.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, it's
my wife's not like that. I'll turn on the fucking lights. I don't care. But I know you can't do that. She'll fuck you up.
The thing about Cara is she's probably one of the only ones I really haven't gotten to know because I only saw her at one games. She wasn't here this past year, and she wasn't there Ariel's first year because of COVID.
Okay. Say that again. She's one of the only ones you haven't gotten to know because of why?
Because she hasn't been around while Ariel's been at the games. Because she was, pregnant this last year. And then the year before that, she was at the games. And we spoke a little bit with her, but not a lot. And the year before that, she had COVID, I believe. I can't remember, but she's only been at one of the games that Ariel's been at versus the women that have been there all 3 years that Ariel's competed. We've gotten to know all of them really well, especially this last year. We've made friends with, I almost want to say we're like friends with everybody, especially on the women's side. Since that's what Ariel competes in, that's what I focus on.
How about Gazan? And Jake Gazan and Alex Gazan. I could see you guys like going on a cruise with them or some shit.
Oh yeah, 100%. I would say out of the top five that we're like really close with, the closest would probably be Emily Roth and her husband.
Oh yeah. They seem cool as shit. If you guys do, I want to go on a cruise with Emily and her husband, you and Ariel. And Gazan and Jake, that would be so fucking fun. Her husband's funny as shit.
Oh, bro, dude.
Emily's husband.
So funny, dude. I wish I was that funny. He's such a good guy.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And I like Kyle so much because he's just another dude. I kind of feel like
Jessica, you can come too. We need someone with Jessica, you come too. We need you there.
Yeah. I think a lot of guys backstage, most of them are coaches and they kind of act in that role. There's a few that don't. Alexis Raptis's coach.
Yeah, he's cool. I like
Adam,
him.
He is such a cool dude.
Yeah,
I love him.
I love her too. What a cool chick.
Oh, dude, yeah, she's awesome. She's so kind. Yeah, I like her.
And not presumptuous. Not presumptuous. There's nothing. She's so approachable. I really like her.
Yeah, she's sweet. I equate her. I think you said it before. She's like the girl next door. If I could, my younger brother, man, that's the guy that I would set them up with for marriage.
Yes. Yeah, you can. You can. I think you could set that up.
She might be a little out of my bros league, but
nah.
But us Loewens, we get the girls out of our leagues.
Yeah, totally. Alexis needs a bad boy. Is your brother a bad boy? She's so pure. She needs a bad boy.
Nah, bro, my brother is one of the best kids out there. He just graduated tech with a civil engineering degree.
She needs that too. She needs a guy with a good job so she can keep pursuing her fruitless, no money CrossFit career.
Yeah, he put himself through school. He did all the things that I thought I couldn't do. And talking about proud, I try to tell him how proud I am of him all the time because I always had the excuse that I couldn't go to college because I'd have to pay for it and I still have to pay other bills. But he was able to do all the things that I said weren't possible. And I wish I was a better brother and we would have had more time when we were younger to live together. Because the only times we lived together was when he was really young and it fell on my shoulders or my sister's shoulders to take care of him. And then when my parents divorced and she got remarried, he left with them. And so we really didn't have our teenage years or his teenage years for me to be like a big brother to him. Mm-hmm. And now, he's besides my dad, he's probably my other best friend. And we have a really close relationship. And I always he graduated this fall and I just keep reminding him how proud I am of him because he has accomplished some things that I personally couldn't have done. And so that's one person I also tell to I love. I'm working on getting that to my dad so he can say it without feeling awkward. But I do tell my brother all the time I love him so much. He was just here yesterday for my daughter's birthday party. And, we spent all together. I made him work. I made him help me install garage doors, and he's the
awesome.
Same way.
Yes.
Yeah, he wants to make my mom tells me all the time that he looks up to me a lot. And so I can literally make him do anything because he knows it'll make me feel proud of him. So I can sucker him into working because he knows that if he works with me, that I'll be proud of him. Or something.
I love to hear sibling stories like that. I love to hear because I want my boys to get along so well. I want them to be best friends. Hey, you know what I really like about Jake Gazan too is how proud he's so. I mean, it comes off of you too, by the way, but he's so proud of his wife.
Yeah. Dude,
he's the husband and also her biggest fan. He's so fucking proud, and he should be proud of her. He doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't seem like he takes a second of it for granted. It's like I'm just so impressed at his. You can just tell it oozes off of him how excited he is about what she's doing. It oozes off of you too. I mean, it's really those women are blessed to have two. Ariel and Alex are blessed to have you and Jake in their lives to support them like that. Some fucking husbands, I don't know these kind of people, but some husbands would be fucking jealous of their wife's success.
Yeah, dude, people have actually asked me about that. And dude, there's nothing but pride in Ariel. The way I equate it to is when let's say somebody that has a child and they're super competitive and they were an athlete younger and they had dreams of being a professional athlete. And then they live through their kid. And because when I was younger, I was athletic. I did play sports in high school a little bit. And I did want to be a professional baseball player. That was my dream. As we're young, we have dreams. And now Ariel's being a professional athlete. I feel like I'm living my dreams through Ariel. You don't know how much fun I have going to these competitions and getting to see her compete, and just the experiences that we've been able to have. The past 3 years have definitely been the best years of my life. Just being able to see Ariel grow and do something that was her dream, because she's been doing CrossFit since like 2012, 2013. And I was there when she started CrossFit. I was there when she did her first competition, and how much love she had for it and the fire she had to compete. And also I got to see the downside of when she thought she wasn't good enough to make it to the games, because she always fell short of that goal. And now just the success that she's had the last 3 years, dude, it's been, it makes me emotional when I think about it, because I couldn't be more proud of what she's been able to accomplish the last 3 years and live out her dream, because not many people get to live out their dream. I'll never be a professional baseball player. I don't know what dream did you have when you were younger? B, were saying with you, like, I'm sure y'all had dreams that y'all wanted to be maybe a professional athlete, or some I don't know about Sevan, a professional
my
athlete,
junior year there was an essay, what is your dream, where do you see yourself in like 20 or 30 years? And I swear to God, my essay is that I worked in a brothel. and that I was I was so proud of that. I was so proud of that fucking essay. Hey, here's the thing. She may be living her dream, but you're doing something so important that's almost even more important than people who are living their dreams. You're witnessing. And when I think of people like Shane Orr or Sammy or Rich Froning's wife, Hillary, or you or Jake, it takes a very special person to be a witness around a bird that wants to fly up to the sun. You're married to these people who have these, I don't know if it's Elon Musk type aspirations, but they're fucking crazy. They think we're going to go to Mars. And instead of squashing their dreams or arguing their limitations for them, you take the stance of the witness. You're there to hold the space for them and be a witness and make room for them to live their dream. It's like the difference between the sun and the earth, right? The sun just does one thing. It just shines down that ball of fire on the earth, and then all the miracles happen here. So it's almost like she's the earth and you're the sun, right? You just shine the light on her, hold the space, and be there for her while the miracle of fucking existence unfolds in front of you. But without you, it might not happen. And it takes such a fucking... That's so many people will not either be great or get to be around people who are great because they don't know how to operate and not hold other people's dreams back. And those people, Emily Rolfe, Ariel, Alex Kazan, they're blessed to have humans like you in their life who will be there to witness it for them, to make that a safe place for them to have these crazy, unrealistic goals and then achieve them.
Yeah.
Do you know what clicked for? Do you know what makes you, what quality about you that makes you capable to be that kind of person, to be around someone who can achieve greatness?
I don't know. I just want to see everybody be able to do their best. I mean, like, I guess one of the best things we could want for other people is to be, I guess, happy, successful. I want other people to feel the same way I would want to feel.
But you could have said to her, but Dillon, you could have said to her, hey, Ariel, you haven't made it to the games yet. We want to have kids. You could have given the whole, let's get our life started. Stop chasing these dreams. Go get a job at Starbucks. In 5 years, you'll be the district manager for all the Starbucks in the area. You'll have health insurance. You'll be making $103,000 a year. I'll have my construction job. Just be cool, girl. And instead you were like, you didn't do that.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to hold somebody back from their dreams. One of my dreams also was to be a business owner. And when we were younger and I would need financial backing, me and Ariel aren't even dating, and she's always been really well with money and has savings. She wouldn't hesitate to give me $10,000, and we're only dating. So she supported me and what I would want to do. How could I not support her in chasing something she wants to do? And I've always 100% believed that Ariel had the potential to go to the CrossFit Games, because from day one, she was a phenomenal athlete. It's just those opportunities weren't there when she was younger, chasing the dream. I'm not even saying it, I hate to say it, but I just don't think spiritually Ariel was ready to make that next step to go to the games, because before she made it to the games, CrossFit was at the top of her pyramid. It was all about CrossFit. Then it was family, relationship, faith. And Ariel changed that pyramid and put faith on top. And when that happened, I'm going to say God blessed her with like, hey, now you're ready. Because nothing changed, you know. Ariel,
I was going to ask you what clicked for her, and I thought you were going to be like, she started incorporating pull-ups more, or she ran more, but it's not that. You're saying she changed her priorities.
She changed her priorities, and CrossFit no longer was at the top of, you know, her pyramid that held so much weight on who she was as a person, her success, and she put God in that place. And I feel like God was like, man, now my child, you're ready to do something great, and through me. And that's just how I equate it, because that's the only thing.
Have you ever talked to her about that, or is you're just thinking this now?
No, I've talked to her about that. We've had that. The joke that I say is to everybody, the only things that changed that made her great was either one, she took my last name. And so when she took my last name, it gave her super abilities to make it to the games. Or two, something about having a child did something to her as well mentally, that changed her mentality. I think giving probably birth it's superhuman, and that maybe gave her also the ability to think that I can achieve anything. And so those two things, the funny one is the last name, but having a child and taking my last name were probably besides God the reason she made it to the games.
You say that jokingly about taking your name, but there is a selflessness of taking someone else's name that maybe a piece of her that was maybe holding her back, she let go of, and she transformed. And it's not so much the taking of your name is just a symbol of that, but it's not actually that, but it probably does point to something that freed her.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean? Like a shedding of the skin and sort of like this rebirth, and it's a all of those things combined. There probably is something there.
Yeah, I would say so. And she had an awesome last name. It was Armstrong.
Oh, that is a good last name. Fuck.
Yeah. So
Ariel Armstrong, that's strong as shit. Wow.
It is strong. And so she really loved that name for CrossFit, and she thinks about it now too sometimes.
Loewen's good, dude. Loewen's good. Loewen's good. Yeah, Loewen's good. Trust me. Hey, and here's the thing. She changed it in time. I didn't even know that. Like, there's other athletes that, like, Tia Toomey will always be Tia Toomey. She'll never be Tia Orr in our heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So
she changed. Yeah, I think everyone knows who Ariel Loewen is. So she changed it at a good time.
Heck yeah. And honestly, it's almost like a manifest destiny. So Ariel's name means like a lion, I believe, or I think it's Lion of God. And our last name, Loewen, means like a lion. And then my first name means something about lions. So it's weird how the lion is kind of incorporated now with Ariel's first name, her last name, and my first and last name as well. Oh no, Dillon, I'm sorry. I don't think Dillon has anything to do with lion, but Loewen and Ariel both mean lion in some kind of terms. And so I think that's kind of cool that that kind of play together. And so that's like why we have her where she works out in her gym. It's the Lion's Den. And then the gym that we're building right now back behind our house, we're going to try to name it something on the basis of a lion. We thought about Pride, CrossFit, but nowadays when I think of Pride, it makes me think of LGBTQ. Because I don't know, I'm sure you know a pack of lions is a pride.
Yeah.
But
the cat's name in the Smurfs was Ariel.
Oh, really?
Right.
Look, there you go.
I used to watch the Smurfs a little bit. The Smurfs were crazy. Yeah. 200 dudes and one chick. Smurfette. That was fucking a weird.
That's why they were all blue. That's why they were all blue, bro. They had blue balls.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually like a little.
God, I'm sure so stoked, dude. You're living the dream. Look at that. Hey, point that out there again. What are those 3 towers to the right of it? Are those like cages for trees so deer don't eat them? What are those things?
Man, to the right.
Well, see all those towers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 6 pillars. They look like they're nets for trees so deer don't eat them.
No, those are pillars for a fence.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some fruit trees. I'd like to see some fruit trees planted on the property. Oh, is that where you and Ariel sleep? Is that the sacred bed?
Yeah, that's where the magic happens. Right there.
Damn.
All the viewers.
Look how clean your house is.
Yeah, that's one of the things I appreciate about Ariel too is she cleans our house really, really well. She keeps it nice and tidy. I like a tidy house, but I'm not one to do that myself. So the fact that Ariel will do that for me, I'm gonna have to plug in my phone real quick.
My wife keeps my house clean too. It's so fucking cool. I wake up every morning. I'm the first one to wake up, and our kitchen is spotless. I can't believe, and all the clothes are always folded and shit. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like when we get back from Wadapalooza, the first thing she did was she took all of our clothes out. It's late at night. We get home at like 9 o'clock, and she's already starting laundry.
Oh, I do the laundry. We fight over. I do the laundry. My wife doesn't like it because I like to use the chemical shit. But then I triple rinse. I probably waste a shitload of water. But I don't do the folding. But I love doing the wash. I like pushing the buttons on the machine and listening to it start up.
I just like working outside. I let Ariel do everything on the inside.
All right, Dillon. Thank you. I can't believe it. 2 hours and 42 minutes. I'm on vacation. Like I've already told myself, I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to do any podcast, let alone anything over 90 minutes. I can't even believe this.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad that we were able to go this long. My only worry was that it was going to be so boring for you that you're going to be 30 minutes into it and be like, all right, thank you. Talk to you later. And then
hey, listen. So it kind of was like that. So I was already last night I texted Danielle Brandon. I'm like, hey, you want to come on at 8 a.m.? Like I thought I'd have you for like 45 minutes, kick you to the curb, talk about you and Ariel having sex and then be done and then have Danielle on. But fuck, dude, 2 hours and 42 minutes. It was easy. I fucking love you, dude. You're dope.
Man, I appreciate that. I love listening to both of y'all. Y'all make a great team, and
I love listening to Caleb
every day.
I love listening to Caleb.
Me too.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, just a quick backstory. I did behind the scenes for the first time in 5 years this year. It was very weird for me. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a dream come true. And every night I just would get up in the morning. I would film all day. I didn't want to really talk to anyone, just do my interviews. And then I would rush back to the hotel. I didn't want to interact really with anyone. And I would rush back to the hotel. And Caleb and I would sit down at this table. And Caleb and I would order a steak with a side of broccoli and then just as many margaritas as we could drink. And just about every night, Dillon would come join us. And it was such a fucking treat. You assimilated so well. I was so comfortable around you. I really just wanted to decompress and not talk to anyone. And I never felt like I had to talk to you. You never made me feel awkward. I get social anxiety, and you were just like, you were so, and after the second night, I was kind of like looking for you. Maybe I even started texting you, hey, we're at dinner. I can't remember, but I was just excited to see you every night. And I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate you added to my experience this year doing the behind the scenes. I appreciate you. I hope I get to do it again, and I hope we're in the same hotel and we can have steak and booze every night again.
Yeah, 100%. I'll look forward to it, man. Hope to see you at the Dickies Arena.
Yeah, make sure Ariel makes it to the games just for that reason, so we can hang.
Yeah, that's the only reason we're going, is so we can hang out with Sevan.
Awesome. All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. Thanks for coming on.
All right, not a problem. Thank you. Y'all have a great day, man.
Cheers. I drank too much coffee.
How many cups you got? You got the big Yeti today. Damn.
Yeah, and I made it way too strong.
Not enough water?
Wait. It was a pour over, and they told me to use 1 teaspoon, and I put like 7 teaspoons. And I'm freaking out.
You shaking a little bit? A little shaky?
Yeah, a little bit. Feels like I'm on drugs. I have Kyra Milligan tonight. 6:30, 2 podcasts. While on, I shouldn't say vacation. People are going to start being like, "Oh, how was your vacation?" I hate that word vacation. I don't take vacation. I'm triggered. I triggered myself. Let's see.
It's going to be tough to top this one, though. That was cool.
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it. Kyra, and tomorrow I have David Pan on. Wow. Ooh. Okay. I got to get ready. Then Jimmy Letchford, President Goruck. And then Greg Glassman. Then Dale Saran. Do I have 2 podcasts? No. It's a busy week. Then Tommy Hackenbrook. Wow, this is a busy week. All right. Anything else? There was something I kind of wanted to show you guys. Where is it? Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see. Oh yeah, look at this. I wonder if I can copy. Should copy. I don't have an extra monitor. I'm gonna give this to you in the private chat.
Okay.
This is a perfect example of outsourcing discernment. This is how what I'm about to show you is how dangerous it is to outsource discernment. Be patient with this piece. This piece takes a little while to unfold. There's a lady who is the big wig at CNN. She has the big show. Her name is Joy Reid. She is batshit crazy. But this is what it looks like when you outsource discernment and when you use that to club other people over the head. It's like this fallacy of outsourcing your discernment to some fake authority. Like somehow Gavin Newsom knows that wearing masks is more important than you would know by your own discernment. So watch this piece unfold. This piece is absolutely crazy. Here we go.
So Joy Reid is advocating for children to read sexual books. You know how liberals are always talking about, oh, they banning books is racist. No, we're trying to ban the pedophilia stuff that's inside of these books that's not for children. Yo, if you vote for Democrat and you call yourself a liberal, you're a little suspect to me. But check this out.
The question I'm asking is, what is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book like All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read? What is your expertise?
What a tragic story of a young man who's anally raped by his adult family member. So you have incest, pedophilia. Joy, you said you'd let me answer, so
Sure.
I'm going to answer
Please
for
do.
you. In what context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public schools?
Why is it your right or a Moms for Liberty activist's right to say that a parent who wants their child to have access to this book, which gives a personal experience of this author, why doesn't a liberal parent, for instance, or a parent of an LGBTQ kid, why don't they have a right for their child to just have access to this book? Why is it?
I swear, man, y'all liberals are just nasty. So
Okay.
remember,
So there's some crazy shit going on there. She doesn't want a book that involves incest, pedophilia, and strap-on dildos in her kid's school. And this lady, Joy Reid, is asking her what makes her an expert to say that an award-winning book shouldn't be read to kids and available to them. And then on top of that, she which is just completely outsourcing the discernment that some group of people who gives an award to a book knows what's best for your child. But then on top of that, she doesn't know this, probably Joy Reid, but she's leveraging liberals and gay people as all agreeing that should be there. Can you imagine can you imagine how hard it is right now to be gay or black when the Democratic Party ties you to every fucked up thing that's out there? No gay person wants to be, I shouldn't say no, most gay people probably don't want to be attached to defending a book that involves sodomy that's kept in a kid's elementary or junior high school. And yet she puts them in front as a reason. She's basically demanding that all gay people and all liberal people get angry because other people are using their own discernment not to have books in the elementary or junior highs that involves incest, pedophilia, and strap-on dildos. If I'm gay or black, I don't want to be leveraged for that. That is CNN, and that is the God that the Democrats are worshiping. Are you guys following that? She just drugged the LGBTQ community as the shield to hold up. Like, if you don't like books in your school for your kids that have incest, pedophilia, strap-on dildos, and sodomy in it, then you hate all Democrats, liberals, and all gay people. She's trying to be divisive like that, and at the same time trying to outsource discernment on how to raise kids to people who give awards for books. Philip Kelly, correct, Sevan. A lot of the LGBT community don't agree with her. Yeah, I would guess the vast majority. We live in wild times. On behalf of all of humanity, I apologize to people out there who have melanated skin and who are gay and who are being leveraged as human shields for these fucking psychopaths. Completely fucking unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. All right. I wanted to share that with you guys. We started the show talking about Mark Bell. Head over to Mark Bell's Instagram account. Give him love. It's got to suck. His YouTube page was nothing about exploring his journey and trying to bring all the smart people onto the internet to talk about health and fitness and wellness, and instead he got kicked out. I know the guy personally. He's a very, very open-minded man, and we need more people like him. He's open-minded and honest, and a man of great integrity for what I know of him. And for him to be booted off like that, for having a guest on who talked about the sun and the health issues around the sun or health benefits, I haven't heard the piece yet, but I'm guessing that's what it was about, is nuts. Stephen Flores, we'll get the final word. If you don't like the pedophilia books, then you ain't gay. Yeah, right. It's like that. That's wow, Stephen, you nailed it. That's basically what she's saying. All right, Caleb, thank you. See you guys tonight, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Kyra Milligan. Tomorrow morning, David Pan. David Pan is a PhD and professor of German at the University of Riverside, and he's running for Congress, and he wants to get the DEI out of the university system because it's not adding to the diversity. It's actually leaving people out. Twitter. I know Twitter. I love you guys both.